Get down, cause I'm here to flow, 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 flow. Get down, cause I'm here to flow, 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 flow. Get down, cause I'm here to 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 flow.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Penta Pro Series Day 3 of the main event. My name is CA and I'm joined by OG, the low res chicken, on the desk as we now bring to you the matchup between Bleed Esports and Revenant Esports. It's going to be a phenomenal day, OG. It's the final round robin day before we head on to the grand finals.
Exactly, dude. It's gonna be a day where Revenant stand a chance of pulling off a very big upset, right? I'm really looking forward to this one because hey, Revenant have been showing promise throughout the Penta Pro series, and this is a place where Revenant essentially have nothing to lose. So we might see something unique out of the bags. We see players like One Tap God with all the pressure lifted off their shoulders. I think it's just gonna be about delivering as much finesse as they can on the server. And hey, considering we're from SA as well, see, I think that's all that we love to see, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just like as a neutral observer on top, I just want to see teams give it their very best, and when
Exactly.
it is a stomp, doesn't feel like teams are able to do that, right? But at the same time, knowing Bleed for their run of form across this main event, it's been 2-0 after 2-0. They've only looked to be getting better continuously. It seems like it should be heavily favored towards Bleed Esports, but Revenant, they've got nothing to lose. They no longer have a chance, of course, to qualify for the grand finals because of their two losses in the last few days. But what they do have is to walk away from the Penta Pro series with a cherry on top of their cake and to just look at it in a bright light, knowing that they took down one of the best teams out there.
Exactly, dude. And hey, at least for the sake of Revenant, right? Today is the day we get to see something maybe like along the lines of a harbor, something that we've been
Uh,
itching for. And hey,
that's for my
again,
sake. That's
that
not for Revenant's sake.
that's for our sake at this point, man,
Yeah.
considering the hype up that we've been giving this agent. And considering that, again, this is the last time that we might see Revenant, right? So it's going to be good to see the likes of Josh S, One Tap God, Ching absolutely obliterate the server for one last time. Because I've been a fan for them ever since they started their run here at the Penta Pro Series, all the way back in, I think, what, day two of the league stage. They started their journey hot. They looked like the team that everybody needed to beat. They gave Reckoning a tough run for their money. They gave God's Reign a tough run for their money. Now having a chance to play against SEA, right? Their performance against Boom yesterday, it felt a little empty stomach in my opinion, especially that second map. I felt like there was still a chance for Revenant Esports, but hey, Boom just seemed to be oh so comfortable as they now just sit and wait for taking on Bleed tomorrow and that best of five.
Right, and I think for Bleed, it's just that to make sure that they don't necessarily give too much away, or rather are forced to give too much away by Revenant. I think they'll want to make sure it's a smooth ride all the way through, and with that smooth sailing, they're able to go into the grand finals knowing they've not just not dropped a single map, they've maintained control of the entire round robin stage, and that idea of control, the psychological benefit to your team, knowing that hey, as long as we play our game, we're gonna win irrespective. I think that's a big boost to get in a massive day where you're playing for over $27,000 on the line.
Exactly, dude. It's gonna be a lot of pride involved, especially with Bleed, because they're looking to make this as clinical of a tournament run as humanly possible. They want to just show dominance and nothing else. So I'm expecting nothing but a 2-0 today, because again, the kind of confidence not only exuded in the server but off the server, when we get a chance to talk to the players, when we get a chance to talk to their coaching staff, it feels like they have nothing else except for victory aligned for not only this but 2023 as well, right? So it has to be on the bat of just showing everybody else on the park who daddy is.
Yeah, 100%. And look, the fact remains that for Bleed Esports, it's that simple idea that this is not just to maintain the daddy factor in the Penta Pro series, but to do it in 2023 in their region domestically in Malaysia, Singapore, but also in Ascension as a whole. And that's where I think Boom is going to be a big contestant. Where when you head into Ascension, you see how much Boom have improved in the matter of a month from their last event to now. You can only imagine how much they're going to improve in a matter of an entire split of the Challengers League as we head towards July, which is where Ascension will be. So for these teams to take each other down early, it should be a motivating factor knowing that they've only got to keep on that path to work ahead. But we talked about that massive prize pool they're playing in the Penta Pro series. So let's have a look at that. There were over $30,000 up for grabs. And of course, now there's $27,000 of it left for the champions and the runners up.
Exactly. And again, we could have a neck to neck affair in that grand final. See, and the reason I say that is you look at this historically, right? Both Bleed and Boom, they've had instances where Boom was sometimes, a little more capable than Bleed. Like for example, in that Galaxy Race off-season event as well, they showed their competence there. They took a map off Bleed, and if I'm not mistaken, that was the best one as well. So they're certainly not that far behind, like you said. And hey, it might require an entire split. It might require even a couple of days. Because Boom, they came in, especially in that finale stage, with that curveball of having fracture, right? Which Bleed already read into. So if they're able to, sort of outdo Bleed in terms of the curveball, like maybe what Deathmaker did yesterday with the Yoru, but maybe having a more potent Yoru in that front lines alongside a double duelist might change how that entire game panned out, and it might change the way that Boom might approach this as well.
Yeah, 100%. And as we look at the schedule, you see that for Bleed, it has only been getting easier to, in a manner to speak. And I don't mean that in terms of the opponents, but I mean that in terms of the way they've leveled up across their matches. Where Boom in Fracture, truly, it felt like where they were challenged to their max, and then Icebox much easier. Similarly, so in the matchup against Velocity, it felt like they were challenged in Breeze more so than Haven to a large extent. And now coming into Revenant, I don't think there's going to be any worry on their minds. But knowing these players, right, knowing the ruthless nature, I don't think they're going to be thinking about the fact that this is a match of little consequence. I think they're going to be just thinking about it like any other match and how they need to win it just to maintain their run of form.
Exactly. And hey, if Revenant do have a really good showing against Bleed today, it's something that they can definitely add to their portfolio of recent success, right? And
Hmm.
considering that this is a roster that's gearing up to be a top contender in the South Asian region here at the 2023 season, I'm fully expecting that grind and that resolve to be instilled right now, right here, man.
Yeah, 100%. And look, one thing is for sure, Bleed Esports will secure the top spot as long as they win this matchup right here. Actually, never mind. Even if they lose, actually, they have the head to head over Boom. So they'll secure the top spot
Exactly.
irrespective and will head into the grand finals with that number one seeding from the group stages. But it's not going to matter really the seeding heading into the finals or even like win or lose. What is going to matter is if Bleed get to play their game, because if Revenant get to expose Bleed in a way where Bleed are forced to change their game and play according to Revenant standards, that's a clear recipe, a clear blueprint for Boom to follow to do the same tomorrow.
Yeah, and at least for this matchup, I think Revenant just played to their strengths straight up. At least in
Yeah, they'll
terms
have to.
of the map pool, I don't see any place where Revenant have that tactical edge over Boom. It feels like across the board, Boom feels comfortable over the majority of the map pool that Revenant do like to play. So if Revenant are able to play to their strengths, if we have the like of Josh S and One Tap God coming in guns blazing into the server from minute one, you could see Revenant start off with that lead. And hey, even in a game like Valorant, where endurance is required across a best of three, Revenant are the only team in South Asia who have displayed their capabilities with bouncing back and to deliver their best even on long hauls. So we're trying to build as much of a case here for Revenant Esports, although against a team like Bleed, victory sometimes seems bleak.
Oh, 100%. And Bleak is where I don't want the Revenant players' mindsets to go because, like you said, it's all about expanding the map pool, gaining as much experience they can, and more importantly, just taking the one extra matchup to really set themselves up going in 2023. Because for them, all they need to do is look at this like a scrim, right? And it's a scrim against a very, very good team. It's a scrim with like all the match pressure that you're normally going to face. So it's not like the players are going to be naturally relaxed, which is absolutely crucial because a lot of times players in scrims they are not able to necessarily play the way they would play in a match. So you get that sort of setting here, and it really sets them up to learn as much as they can from this matchup. But it's easier said than done because, like you said, the map pool aspect is where Bleed most definitely thrive, and where you could request for a map or two in a scrim. Here you're gonna have to contend with what Bleed bring to the table. So we'll have to see how Remnant are able to adapt. And I think in terms of picks, Bleed are likely to just instantly go for that Haven. I'm curious to see what Revenant pull out. Like, this is the stage to try and experiment, to try to do something different and test the limits of your squad inherently while doing so.
Yeah, by the way, I had the opportunity to have like a conversation with Juicy. Dude, the guy is 16 years old.
Yeah,
16 years old,
I'm not
and
joking when I say prodigy, bro.
this is the first tactical shooter that he's gone in professionally. So the fact that he's delivering in that caliber in and of itself blows my freaking mind apart, dude.
100%.
Yeesh. And again, we talk about prodigies, right? We have one tap god on Revenant who's been nothing but a prodigy kid for Revenant Esports throughout the Penta Pro Series. Wimp and Blackhawk delivering when required. Blackhawk has been showing finesse with his controller maneuvers so far, especially deep within games where Revenant really need a hero to shine. And hey, Ching and Josh S, they've proved their worth. They've proved the quality that they bring to Revenant Esports. And this entire experiment that's being orchestrated by both Revenant and Reckoning is something that I absolutely love. It gives a lot of the up and coming players the kind of knowledge transfer they need to really find a brand and a voice of themselves within this market, which again goes to strengthen our overall scene. So, with the kind of, results that Ching and Josh's have been getting, and with the kind of narrative that players like Fishball and Zeke have been bringing into our region, I feel nothing but happiness, my friend.
100%. Hey, competition is the key to growth. And the more competition you have, the easier it will be for all of the players to grow. And I think, of course, like you said, the onus really on the local domestic players to learn from their very best from these star players coming into respective teams and try to elevate themselves to a large extent. And we also have squads like Gosrain going in for the full domestic roster who have displayed some decent results and will look to level themselves up going into 2023. So that's what I personally love about Challengers 2023. We've got many a roster taking a lot of different routes and trying out different things, and I hope that echoes in terms of their composition as well, because that's something we've never really had in not just SA, but I'd say to a certain extent SEA as well. Over the last year, it's only been the top teams willing to experiment with the likes of Paper X, right? It's never been the tier 2 teams willing to experiment. It's more them just picking up where the top teams leave off, and that inherently results that in these tier 2 teams never get to build up their own identity, and without that identity, I promise you it's going to get extremely difficult heading into 23 and 24, where eventually maybe picks and bans come into play. You need to make sure you start understanding and looking at the game your own way.
And that's the biggest advantage of coming from an underdog region, right? There are two
Yeah,
kinds of teams: the teams who play the meta and the teams who make the meta. The teams who play the
yeah,
meta are usually from the places where it's very dominated by that game. Like, for
yeah.
example, if you think of a game like Valorant, I feel like EMEA is one of those regions where the meta is sort of created. And hey, if we're in a region like SEA, the onus is on us to find anti strats at that meta and really exploit what other teams aren't exploiting. That's the only way that you can beat someone not at their own game, but at your strengths. And hey, improvising, adapting, and overcoming has been one of the, you know, signatures of our region, right? You look at SEA
Yeah.
esports like maybe 5 years back from now, 7 years back from now, across platforms. I'm not even talking about FPS. I'm talking even about stuff like MOBA. It's been innovation that's been carrying our region forward, and that needs to be the trend that continues.
100%. And we'll have to see if either of these teams are able to bring innovation. Bleed, it seems like it will be honestly quite doubtful for them to do that. And you can see in terms of that, they're just going to ban our bind. I think this is a more sort of case of Bleed being like, yeah, blind is going to go away in
Oh, Revenant
2023. We can't
Haven.
be bothered. But Revenant locking in the Haven, I must say, it's a big surprise because they had to know
All
Bleed were
right.
going to do that anyway. So Bleed instead pick up Breeze
Hey,
instantly, and this is going to be a Breeze that Bleed are damn strong on, that we've seen them
exactly.
before really pull off very, very well. So I think
They
already this
bested
veto
Velocity
slightly Bleed
yesterday,
favored. Yeah.
who is, historically the best team in South Asia on Breeze. So, without a doubt, Bleed an upper hand in this veto, something that, again, all of us
And
expected from the get go.
the most scary part, I think, in this for Revenant is Breeze has been their perma ban across this entire tournament. They don't play this map necessarily. So for sure they haven't got practice over here, right? So it's going to be extremely difficult for them to match up against the likes of Breeze, which took down a team that arguably was the strongest on Breeze across this entire tournament in velocity. So now Bleed get to face off against a team that permabans Breeze. So I'm not quite sure. I understand that the Fracture ban is because Bleed may instantly target them on Fracture, but wouldn't you rather Fracture than a map that you've been permabanning the entire series?
I mean, like I said, Revenant have nothing to lose, right? So maybe
Uh,
the entire idea on Breeze is to try and play a much more loose game where you, again, have players who on this level will know how to play every single map. Sure, as a team, you might not know how to approach it, but that kind of puts a lot of onus on the likes of, maybe Josh S or maybe one tap god to play that ultra aggressive, just play a little more individualistic. And hey, to some extent, that might even work to give them a small edge, but it won't really help them to gain momentum, and they won't really be able to string rounds on the back of it unless it happens on a very consistent basis. Which, hey, if you know anything about esports and if you know anything about how, statistics work, you can't rely on dumb luck.
Yeah, 100%. And look, talking about dumb luck, right? I think Revenant are going to be hoping for some of their own because Haven, Breeze, and then we get into Pearl. I think, considering the fact that all of these maps are, except Haven, maps that are relatively new and offer a team that has better fundamentals, better synergy within themselves, a clearer avenue to success. I think Bleed do have the stronger veto. And the only map that doesn't do that is Haven, which is Bleed's insta pick. So a bit confusing, definitely from Revenant, but I think they're just maybe trying to maximize their practice to a large extent. And having locked in that Haven, they're trying to play their very best map against Bleed's very best map at once. So we'll have to see what they can take away from Haven, or if they can even take away the map.
I mean, at this point, Revenant, they have the ideal opportunity to walk in with maybe a random composition, right? So, considering the map pool that we've gotten, what do you think is the most rogue that we could go? Like, are you expecting something along the lines of, now let's see, what's our first map? If I'm not mistaken, it's Haven, right?
Yeah.
So, if we have Haven, I'm expecting maybe the double operator to come online between one tap. I feel like a one tap maybe can go on his Jet rather than his Raze alongside Josh Hess on the chamber makes sense. But to supplement that, you might need something like I don't know, Arena, something that we've seen quite a bit in this tournament, something that we don't get the luxury of in many other events. So I'm sensing
Yeah,
the
and
Arena as well, man. What do you think?
yeah, I agree. I think talking about the Reina, I wouldn't be surprised if Bleed themselves actually go back to one of their OG comps on Haven, which is the Jet Reina instead of the Jet Chamber that we saw yesterday. And we see Juicy pull out that Reina, and it's something that I think would work very well against Revenant because that composition all about aggression and forcing aim duels against your opponents. And that's something I don't necessarily think is Revenant's signature. Revenant's signature lies in holding back, playing the macro game long term, and trying to really force out bad fights for their opponents rather than give them equal fights where they can then take advantage of them using combo setups or contact traps and things like that. I think Revenant more reliant on just playing simple, deep crossfires. And I think if you play Jet Reina, you can easily break a Revenant simple crossfires because you've got the Breach Silver. You just top it from the side. Literally play Paper X style,
Exactly.
W gaming only, and it's hard for Revenant to come up with an answer.
And on the back of that, if you have something like an Astra, even more of a brilliant setup, right? Something that we've
Yeah,
already seen and could expect. So, hey, especially considering the game that we got to see yesterday from Bleed, right? One thing that's going to be
yeah,
crucial is also how Revenant try and maneuver the post plants because it feels like Bleed can just break through any post plant with
yeah,
significant ease. It doesn't even feel like they were contested at one point at Haven. And again, I feel like
yeah.
that's a very crucial statistic because half the time when you're going to be playing the attack, it's about playing the objective right. And the only way you can play objective right is on the back of utility and good crossfires. Now, even if you have good utility and crossfires and it gets opened up that easily, now that's cause for concern.
Oh, 100%. And that cause for concern, the only way you can circumvent it is by ensuring that with your team, you're able to work together to really challenge the other team and push them off what the plan they bring to the table in the first place. Because if you don't do that, they're going to be in cruise control permanently. They're going to be just thinking round to round, okay, we go here, we go there. Everywhere we go, it's on our own terms. And that's what needs to really change for Revenant, man. I think when you look across this entire round robin, when they played Velocity, it felt like Velocity dictated the pace with their aggression and were able to force them into playing on their own terms. Similarly, against Boom, Boom slowed down the match so much so that it felt like Revenant was starting to get itchy on certain occasions and just didn't get to understand how the map was being played. So, having faced both extremes, now they get to face a Bleed that is good at both extremes. That is good at being aggressive the way Velocity were, but also being slow and methodical the way Boom are. So this is the best of both worlds, ideally, in this Bleed roster. And for Revenant, the best way to practice against the both.
You know, looking past this matchup, right? One thing that I do
Yeah.
love that this Penta Pro series has created is this rivalry now between Revenant and Velocity. Because it feels like with every passing moment, Revenant are slowly but surely getting better, right? And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
after the kind of experience that they get playing against teams from SEA in the finale stage of Pro Series,
Yeah.
after a short break and after a short assessment of how they performed and what they individually can do and how they can work through this, it's going to be super fun to see when it comes to the next event, right? It feels like,
Yeah.
at least with the kind of route that Revenant have taken, they got bested three times. Twice in the playoff stage and once here in the finale stage against VLT. So that's something that I'm going to keep my eyes latched on for the next one, man. Is there any fun rivalries that you've seen develop apart from this one?
Maybe the Revenant God's Reign one to a certain extent, where I think Revenant were able
Yeah,
to
actually,
surprise God's Reign to a large extent. But for me, it's actually a lot more about the underdogs that we got to witness in the likes of White Swing,
Revenant
for
Reckoning.
example. Yeah, Reckoning too. I think for these teams that are trying to make a mark but are not necessarily at the same level, they did get a bit of a wake up call heading into 2023. So I want to see how they're really able to step up, right? Because it's been a continuing curse for Reckoning to not make the land/slash main stage or the secondary part of an event for a long time. And for them, they need to really level up so they can start doing that heading into 2023 because they've got the talent in the roster.
Yeah, for sure. And if I'm not mistaken, Zeke and Fishballs are going to come down to India, I think, within the next month
Oh,
as well. So we're going to have both Revenant and Reckoning having their, international players join them here over at India and then try competing for that SA League, which is going to be damn fun, dude. I think next year is going to be, one of those years where, hey, even if me and you might not get to be at the event, at least seeing the event and watching these rivalries develop over time, which is something that we haven't gotten to really see in South Asia. Because you look at the kind of events that we've had in the past, right? You have these road to VCT events that we've had for the past 2 years, and they last for maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months at max. So watching this event develop over a couple more months and having more of a time span, I think it's gonna make this entire scene a little more close knit and a little more competitive, which is what I'm looking forward towards.
yeah, likewise. And for the scene to reach that stage, these teams have got to end off 2022 with a bang, and that's why we're gonna head with Bleed and Revenant today, and hope that Revenant are able to do exactly that, not just end off 2022 with a bang for themselves, but really give their organization an early Christmas gift to a large extent, where I'm sure they'll be unhappy that they were not able to make it to the grand finals. It's a nice silver lining to say, hey, at least we beat Bleed on the way.
I mean, yeah, that certainly will be a nice, pocket card when they meet each other at the next
Yeah.
land. They'll be like, "Hey, we beat you at this tournament." They're like, "Hey, we beat the team that beat you." I think I've seen that, quite a bit in South Asia. There's this fun time that I
Yeah.
had in the Bangalore land where, if I'm not mistaken, it was EG playing against Orangutan from back in the day. So the
Yeah.
conversation was between Antidote and Tesseract, and they were just throwing banter
Yeah.
at each other as they were
Yeah.
setting up for the event and getting ready for media day. And the entire banter was around, Antidote having as much experience in the entire Indian scene as long as Tesseract has, walked around on his feet or something along that lines. So
Uh-huh.
I certainly can see this being used during that 5 minute breather that you get in between a best of three and you meet your adversaries right before you get back to your PC. Yeah, bro, it's certainly gonna be like a memory that sticks out for people. Not gonna lie there.
Oh, 100%. And it's really cool seeing that experience factor lined up against the young guns almost in the likes of Tesseract in that equation, or even in here when you've got, I think JH is also just 17, Juicy 16, but then you've got the experience in the likes of Crazy Guy, right? And in the
Yeah,
likes of Scary,
exactly.
where these players have played at the highest of levels, and together they're able to form such a formidable roster.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, Crazy Guy was also Deathmaker's ex teammate back in the day in
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Signify. So it was a bit of experience that he already had amidst our best. And hey, at least that could explain as to why Bleed had such a good read walking into this finale stage, right? I had a chat with Bleed
Yeah.
as well, where I asked them, "Did you watch any of the game of the Penta Pro series? Are you prepared?" They're like, "You know what? We didn't really watch any, but we kind of know what to expect." So they just walked into the server and their expectations turned out to reality, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So yeah.
similarly, so when I had a chat with Famous, right, I think he was talking about how they whenever they watch their own WODs again, like the Bleed versus Boom game, they get to
Mhm.
learn a lot more. So actually, that's something I want to see the SA teams do to a large extent. I feel like while they talk about their own mistake, rewatching the WODs helps humongously. Best case scenario, you find new things that you never even realized went wrong. Worst case scenario, you just reiterate and reaffirm the mistakes you have made, and it becomes clear in your head. So it's a win-win either way, and it's something that really does need to be set in stone, because I think that's one thing I love about Bleed with their coaching staff and the likes of Legia, Godspeed, and Ominous. They have very clear-cut responsibilities, and that allows them to set up a step-by-step growth pattern where they can work towards objective after objective, milestone after milestone, and you can really see the team leveling up with that, right? And you can see the team learning in those steps, and I think that's what is absolutely crucial. It's not about how you get wins, or it's not about how you are able to reach certain stages of the tournament. Even if you're losing for 5 months in a row, but you've learned the most out of any of those teams, towards the end of the year where the ascension comes into play, that's where you can make it count.
Yeah, and for all of those in chat who are wondering, why the hell is the game wise not started? The players are all in the lobby. It should just be underway
Yeah.
in what, another 2-3 minutes. So it gives us time to talk about the players a little more, right? We've both gotten the chance to interview a plethora of players from a lot of teams. Who's been the one that stood out for you? At least for me, it was Josh Hess, man. We had an entire chat about Indian food. We had an
Yeah.
entire chat about his experience back home and his time now here in India. So that'll be
I guess
Josh S from my end. What about you?
I think Malik's from mine in that regard, because he similarly so talked about how he loved Indian food and how the atmosphere was very similar for him compared to his actual home. So it's very nice to see all of these professionals from other nations settling in very nicely. And kudos to the Orgs for making it happen. But hey, with no further ado, we're ready for the matchup. So let's head straight into the agent selection. And a reminder for all of our viewers that it is going to be Haven. Surprisingly so, not the map pick of Bleed, it is the map pick of Revenant.
Wait, is Scary actually gonna pull out a Viper on Haven?
No, no, no. Oh, wait, Darion on the Killjoy, though. Hold on. I think Crazy Guy
Okay.
Chain. Scary
Yeah,
Reina?
there we
Oh,
go.
never mind.
Rational. Rational. Scary Rana would be overkill. I mean, I understand Bleed feel confident, but you need a controller, man. Come on.
I mean, yeah,
Come
but
on.
there's certain things you can pull off in confidence, you know?
Okay. Okay. All about the confidence, eh?
Yep.
Damn, dude, we're on the English desk. We can't talk like that.
Hey, having said that, though, I think Revenant not changing a single thing. I'm gonna be curious to see how that pans out. I would have liked to see maybe Ching on the Fade as well. Like, while I personally don't think Fade is great on Haven, the Raise Breach Fade combo, especially with the Astra as well, can work out really, really well, especially against the aggression that Bleed is likely to show. But I like the fact that Bleed have got Darion on the Killjoy instead of the Chamber, because I think this is Bleed
Really?
almost using this. Yeah, it's I think it's Bleed almost using this matchup as a practice scrim where they're preparing for next year, where Chamber is no longer in
Makes
the meta
sense.
for the next patch to a large extent. And now they
Yeah.
won't get the small buffs that Killjoy has got. You can still practice the micro setups, the contact turrets, the nano swarm pull combinations for
The
Garage,
defaults.
things like that to
Exactly.
get themselves used to it.
Exactly, and considering that her lockdown has her HP increased from 150 to 200, it'll also make the breach all the more irrelevant. So thank God for all
Yeah.
you KG mains out there. And hey, with the way this entire tournament has been going, I still feel like Bleed having the significantly upper hand are going to be more than comfortable navigating this best of three. The onus is on Revenant, ladies and gentlemen, to provide beyond anybody's expectations. And now comes the moment to deliver.
Yeah. The time is here, the time is now, and they've got to do everything they can to pull it off. Revenant versus Bleed in Revenant's last matchup in this tournament. And for one tap guard, one last chance to show off his skills and really make a case for his IGL, for his coaching staff, for his team that he deserves a slot, if not a permanent one, at least
Hey, the clap, clap,
on a
clap.
rotational basis. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go.
I asked this to Josh yesterday. I'm like, bro, what's the chant like? He's like, bro, it's the Team Liquid chant. So
Wait,
yeah,
what?
clap,
What is
clap,
it
clap,
in
clap,
liquid?
clap, Revenant, like that,
Oh, okay.
like 1-2-1-1-2. Yeah.
Uh,
But hey, cheering aside, Juicy cheered his way on towards the side, and he picks the cherry off his liking. Blackhawk, the sole controller of Revenant out of the battlefield, but they are quick to
on the
close the
flank.
back lines here, so it makes this very doable as they've essentially boxed Bleed in. They take the fight forced towards defender spawn, and hey, completely understandable why they do so. They
Oh
anticipated
my
this
lord.
maneuver, and they're just a step ahead, dude. Classic Bleed.
Bleed realized that there's not been enough contact inside the flank likely to come through and then just bulldoze their way into defender side spot and make their way into
Gonna
A
get the
side.
ace?
Juicy now setting himself up for the ace, but Scary will deny and they won't care. There's that pistol round in the bag.
Exactly. They knew exactly what was up. Quick play, quick comms, quick on their feet, quick on their thinking.
Mhm.
Valiant effort from Revenant, however. They had a pretty good read and hold of the situation. Eesh. Yeah, Blackhawk is hoping that he was able to dispose of that recon. And hey, Bleed
Yeah.
Esports instantly on the investment. The Vandal out from Juicy very early on with the half shields. They're looking to rinse and repeat.
Exactly. Bleed Esports right now. You just repeat that aggression.
Through the
for
smoke,
one tap
bro!
guard.
Through the smoke!
He found himself in a sick position, but Juicy's just on a roll. Smoke criminal shuts a couple down. While he does get traded out, it just won't matter unless his weapon is unrecoverable. Is his weapon unrecoverable?
Oh!
Okay.
Gun here.
Oh no.
I think they got his vandal.
Yeah, they did. For sure. And Bleed Esports, only losing one member, making that look relatively easy. But hey, that was Revenant on a full eco, right? They have the chance to invest now. I think we're gonna see maybe a little bit of an aggressive Revenant. You can see Blackhawk is just having a cheeky little smile. I'm wondering what the idea is now behind this. Are they gonna try something cheeky? Are they gonna try something gimmicky? You have the Ray set up towards long, so it could be that gravity suck alongside that nade.
They're gonna run into the knives though, and yeah, like you said, they have the setup, but the stun will not catch Juicy, and instead one tap got stunned out. Juicy will make sure they realize how easy that is. Just a piece of cake. Crazy guy doubling down as he hunts his counterpart, and now with the smoke dash, they've opened up this side. The floodgates coming through. And Blade, they deny.
It's
Hi.
Spike planted.
almost feels like a free for all at this point. On Blackhawk. Oh, alright. He's nice try. At least the only one from Revenant who's getting a break from what feels like a Bleed massacre. It's just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, not the best of three. It felt like, however, for the side of Revenant Esports, I don't think that was the counter breach stun. I feel like one tap got wait. Did JH even land a stun? I didn't see the stun going out from the other side though. So I'm hella confused as to how he got stunned.
I think JH stunned. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the only way because there's no way his own breach stunned him since he was from A-Link. But Hey, Revenant,
Exactly.
now their economy broken.
Oh no.
Blackhawks position reveal. They smell out the shorty setup. I think they did that because they're like, hey, it's an eco. He might be sitting with a shorty, man. And Juicy is really giving some nightmares over to the Revenant players. They're gonna think back to today and be like, nah, bro, nah. He can't be hitting shots like that.
Oh, one tap god set up in a one tap angle. Sadly, not able to live up to the hype, although he does deliver as soon as he's questioned. You see, expecting the recommitment, and hey, saw that coming from a mile away. Again, the push in towards this A side. Now at least they know that they're gonna walk in towards a potential stand. They know Wimp's whereabouts. It's starting to get a little sweaty. Revenant with a decent damage and still in a position to recover.
Josh S.
Player standing.
In a crucial position, the smoke fades away. He's able to shut down Crazy Guy, and now the potential of a Thrifty on board.
Enemy remaining.
Isolated.
JH isolates out Wimp in still a 1v1, and he's got to play it smart. He has the spike, but not enough time. And he just goes for the wide swing and sprays Josh S out. JH recovering around that. By all means, looked like it might go over to Revenant, but in that 2v1, just not coordinated well enough. I think as soon as Wimp goes for the swing, Josh S should be jumping down. And they need to fight that together. They give JH the opportunity to isolate the fights, and he makes it count.
Ay, ay, ay. They have the Hunter's Fury on Crazy Guy, and Bleed haven't been shy with their aggression whatsoever. Talk about that conditioning quite a bit, but I think today is not going to be a day of conditioning purely. I think they're just going to try and W their way until they get a reply back. At least feels like it. They display respect here to the Revenant utility. He spotted the aggression, and it's all about dismantling it now thereafter.
Revenant trying to play it smart still, and they've got to make this round count. They've got the buy, the op on Josh S as well,
Nice
and
shot.
Ching. A nice jiggle shot. He's able to take down Juicy, give him a taste of his own medicine now. Bleed's still happy to fight, and
Wait, what? He finds
Scary
him and
makes
falls
it
back
count. Like, how?
without taking a tick of damage. Unbelievable. Wumba's going to be playing on the back of that alarm bot placed by Josh S. I knew with this operator, it's going to be hella hard for them to retake this B site. So if sees where Bleed's hitting, there's still a hypothetical chance for Revenant at the hold. Josh S severely pushed back by utility, although Blackhawk finding the perfect avenue to play aggressive. Crazy Guy out of the equation. No, didn't he spot they had that area was just a sitting duck. Blackhawk continues to deliver. He's been an MVP for Revenant so far in this entire tournament. He's been the only one who's found a voice in this matchup so far for Revenant as well. And a safe plant, something that he can't deny. But numbers is something that he's managed to do a lot of damage to. Yeah, they can actually take it down through the box.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And
Still gives the time though for the reposition.
still 2v2 on the map, and Blackhawk in one tap guard with the opportunity to pull this
Reads
off. They
it.
got the utility to isolate the site. The nade pushes Scary off, and Blackhawk, he gets one per Darion with the instant trade. Now his position known, he's very low. Blackhawk pulls off a crucial clutch, keeps Revenant alive. Don't think he'll be able to retrieve the op, but hey, a round is what matters, and they're able to get one in the bag.
Exactly. Blackhawk has been delivering above and beyond for Revenant Esports. It gives them the very, very crucial round for them to get things going their way. And it's deals like these that, need to really shine for Revenant. They can't really let Bleed run away with every aim deal that has been the case, except for the round prior so far. So if that narrative changes, it doesn't give so much. Okay, you can't really say confidence for this, but gives them the ability to take fights at their own terms. Brilliant. I like this.
Revenant looking to get a lot more proactive. They found a pick for themselves,
Josh
and they'll
S.
make that two more with Josh S. Able to pick them out as well. Bleed now stumbling and fumbling, and Revenant making it count.
Enemy remaining.
And really hurting their economy while building up their own. In the meantime, Joshua with the triple and leaving now Crazy Guy on his lonesome. The Hunter faced with an impossible task with Blackhawk coming through on the flank as well. He's gonna have his back turned. And he'll get taken out.
Teleport's ready.
Love the proactivity from Revenant, taking matters into their
Exactly.
own hands.
And playing it by their utility and their aggression. They use the showstopper, they use the Hunter's Fury, and they've gotten this crucial round. Now it needs to go back to solid fundamentals. And it hit him at the last possible tag as well.
Hostiles gone.
Yeah. Look, at this point, for Revenant, we've seen what is the recipe for success. It's taking the fight to Bleed, fighting fire with fire and making it count. With Rolling Thunder though, Bleed trying to answer the aggression with some of their own. They get a 1-for-1 alone, and the Cosmic Divide buys enough time for the counter Rolling Thunder to come through. Now Darion is
Brilliant.
buying some space on the other side of the map. For one tap, God with aggression of his own.
Wait, what?
He's managed to trade out the spike, but they don't check out Scary.
Giving them a
The
chance
Wimp
here,
comes
Bleed.
out to trade, and yeah, now like you said, Bleed, they've got a chance. 2 for 2.
Remaining.
Ooh.
But Josh, yes, he denies a spike, not
Hospital
able to
flick.
be recovered, and now Darion's got to play it smart. The pop and swing to take down Josh, yes, and just like that, he's got the spike.
Alright, straight up Pugani peeks him. Alright. Certainly a way to deal with an operator.
I call
Now
that
all the
Red
pressure
Bull
put on
peak
Wimp.
now. You know, because
Oh,
Red Bull had the
okay.
best car in 2022 for all the F1 fans out there. As a
Well, I
big
mean-
Ferrari fan myself.
The only way this comes close to a Red Bull if is Darion finds a clutch.
Bot coming back. 30 seconds left.
He needs to cling onto hope, cling onto victory.
Swarm grenade.
And he has a boatload of utility to do so as well.
Yeah,
Let's
but
not
this
use
is
all
not
the
any
swarm
other
enemies.
killjoy.
His positioning is brilliant here. I don't think Wim might expect this.
Clearing out.
Position given away?
Right now, but yeah, Darion knows exactly where Wimp is. He's running out of time as well. I think even if he does take a fight, he might activate his nano swarms before he does so to make sure the defuse
Bait
can't
and
happen. But
switch.
Wimp runs before he even checks the corner, and I think
Exactly.
expecting Darion to be at C long because of the nano swarm activation, Darion able to outplay him in those mind games and stay one step ahead. Finds a huge clutch in. I love the fact that it's on the back of a pop and swing, man. It's just Josh is gonna be annoyed by that.
I want to relive that swing, man. And that Josh ass flick. Like, that was disgusting in all honesty.
Enemy remaining.
Yes. Eesh.
Oh, you got 1 out of 2.
You are divided.
And I got the one I wanted, so I'm happy.
Here.
Revenant might be happy too because their read seems to be
Spike down.
quite right in this position.
Oh, no.
Blackhawk opens it up. A Crazy Guy with the trade. Scary denies Josh Ash on his door. They force in. Revenant, they fall apart. Lockdown now coming through though to make sure they're not able to retake fast and quick for Bleed. They're just looking for fights, hunting for Juicy.
One enemy
Well, Darion
remaining.
finally is able to get the plant. Scary will ensure Wimp cannot deny. And just like that,
Played this 2v2.
Revenant in
Spike planted.
an impossible position, man. Ching in a 1v2. He's got the drone, sure. They get a lot of information, but they're just looking to fight.
Ooh. Scary. Forward positioning. Luckily, Juicy right around the corner to ensure this round goes the way of Bleed. I feel like Wimp staying alive there would have made the world a difference. They could have played that at textbook 2 versus 2.
Yeah.
A much more doable ask considering that you have both the initiators left. So it essentially is going to be a utility dump yard on the retake. You know, ideal breach circumstances for some players, especially our Hindi caster Cracky.
Lost in sight.
2-6 though, and now Revenant's economy truly broken. That Tour de Force is well gone from the last round, and Revenant left with little to play for and little to play with in this round. while Bleed, they rinse, repeat, and at this point squeeze the life out of Revenant, strangle them while they do exactly the same thing. Seaside Nanoswarm setup and a 5v5 retake without weapons, and against 2 Nanoswarms, a Hunter's Fury, and a Breach with still a Flash and Aftershock. That's walking straight into the meat grinder, man. Walking straight into their death.
Right here.
Yeah. Are they gonna be ready for it? Seems like a stun setup is on the way, and Crazy Guy, does he have support? Yes, he does. Trades instantaneous. They have the Hunter's Fury, but who needs the Hunter's Fury when,
One enemy
you know,
remaining.
everybody in the side are down Hunter. He's looking comfortable
they
here,
showed-
map 1.
Yeah, Reverend, they showed a little bit of fight. They showed a little bit of ability to deny and to push forward with those 2 rounds in the early part of the first half.
Bullseye.
But they were able to rally back off of a nice clutch from Black Hawk and some lovely proactivity in the very next round. But since then, Bleed have done what they do best. Denied momentum, stabilized the rounds, and taken matters back into their own hands with a pedal to the metal and really squeeze the life out of Revenant. 7-2 now. Revenant, they've got one more by. Joshua again on
Yes,
the op.
operator.
He's been smoked off.
Finally, he at least gets the weapon of his choice, though. Although Crazy Guy on the other side, with the perfect utility to put him to stop. Need to play the cards right here, Bleed, towards his A side. Otherwise, the ability to punish is heavy. And hey, at least there's support right around the corner. Wimp is able to break the drone, so Josh S still has his position incognito. Beautiful duel from Jink. Still makes it out there. No, Terion finds Josh S. They were reliant on Josh S finding that early frag and making his way back, but they've handed the man advantage right back over to Bleed, and the rotation's instantaneous.
And we've seen this so many times from Revenant. The inability to play around appropriately where they have the man advantage, but talking about seeing many a time, it's the anchor from Black Hawk, though he's only able to get a single one.
No, not like this.
One tap God trying to make his way through the nano swarms, disrespecting the hold, and just like that, the man advantage this time now given away. Bleed in a 3v2 post plant. Happy to play it late because they've got Scary on a crucial look.
One enemy remaining.
Who needs the look? Darion is like, bro, I'll take care of it myself. Almost got himself the ace there. Switching on 36 HP. Trying to be the difference maker. Oh god, salty stuff. Salty stuff, GH.
Can see the big smile,
smile.
on JH's face. Yeah. Instantly though goes away. And that's the mark of a player that does not overheat, that does not necessarily fade away with the momentum that they have in their side. Bleed, the epitome of every single playstyle, where they're able to play it fast,
Yeah.
able to play it slow, but I think it's really the mental edge that they've got in the back. But now Revenant again on the eco, trying to make an aggressive push happen. The stinger towards the long, it won't find anyone. As Josh S is now left on his lonesome with a headhunter in play. Gonna look for the aggressive peek, but gets one tap before he's sent to rendezvous with his team, with the dead body in their hands.
Yeah, send back
At
the
this
spawn
point,
for
it
the
feels
next
like
round.
Bleed are playing deathmatch.
Like I said, man, a free for all, essentially. Hey, that's how they need to be playing this, right? Especially when the tournament run has been dictating nothing but dominance. It's not an easy narrative to change. My heart goes out to Revenant, man. Love the sportsmanship. They knew that it's gonna be a very hard matchup from the get-go, but they're doing their best to take the fight and to display the caliber and skill within this roster.
Player standing.
We all have appreciated throughout that Penta Pro Series run, and we're hoping to see way more of this in 23. But hey, I think it was Excali, right, who taught us that you get your W's right after you take a streak of L's. And these are very important L's in the grander context of getting the W. You learn from teams like this. You get to understand how, not only that conditioning game style, but also having the cracked nature of Juicy supplemented with it it might give Revenant the facilities to set up one tap God in such brilliance here in the future. And hey, we talk about the brilliance in the future, the brilliance in the present. We praise them with showers, and they're close to pulling off a flawless round.
And look, this time around, Bleed, they gotta play it smart. Ensure that,
Targets destroyed.
because they still have a lot of time right here. Darion might just pull this off. He's waiting for Revenant to just make a small error, make a small
1v5?
mistake. But I love this. Revenant
Right there.
just holding on. Yeah, I mean, I won't take it back from Darion after that Breeze clutch against Velocity. You remember that 4K?
My bad.
Nah, bro.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable. Have a nice day, I guess.
Yeah. No, but I love the fact that Revenant were disciplined. They were not looking to hunt him down, and Blackhawk is able to shut him out. So, fair enough.
9-3.
But hey, 9-3. At least they've got the curse to help them, because they at this point Revenant need everything they can
Right
get.
here.
But again, it's the proactivity that pays off in this particular round. Josh is able to find a pick, and on the back of the Hunter's Fury, they fight for mid and they make it count. So 9-3 now as Bleed head in towards the defense, and
Let's have some fun.
honestly, should only get easier for Bleed, because that Killjoy on the defense only gonna look that much stronger. But
If she's alive, that is. See, one tap.
will
got
be.
killed.
She's
Oh,
setting
never
up the
mind.
contact for herself with her turret. The contact turret to set up the stun. Beautifully done. This is
True
what I
teammate.
think Bleed wanted to practice.
Yeah, the turret is a true teammate, man. Right out the bat, Revenant trying to contest this A position early. Let it be towards short, let it be towards long. An easy dismantlement with the utility coming in from J Hatch. Perfect teamwork, man. Perfect synergy from Bleed. Just what we're accustomed to see at this point.
Beautiful teamwork and synergy ensures that now. Just look at that, dude. The contact turret
Spike
and
down A.
JH primed with the fall line, just waiting for that contact. Able to get it all through. It would have all been denied though if somehow one tap had found the flick, but that's easier said than done. Revenant now looking for the 1-3-1, but Bleed just getting just as aggressive. Again, the fall line on contact this time as they look to punish, take up area for themselves. They got Scary under window and Juicy taking contact for Grass, and Revenant scared to make a move. Scared it'll all fall apart, but all they need is one pick. One pick, one weapon in their eco, and that could be the line to a Thrifty.
Yeah, I think they might get that in the form of Crazy Guy to his short or Scary to his window. So on Revenant to choose that fight. It is right around the corner as well, and yeah, they're walking into that two-man stack there. Crazy Guy himself is looking for that pick from short, and Josh has to remove him from the equation.
Right there.
And that forces the push here, essentially, from both JH and Scary.
Spike down.
Boy, oh
attacker
boy, is
spawn.
this looking scary.
Last player standing.
Do you believe 1v3? Guardian? Josh has?
I
Beast.
mean, yes.
Never mind.
Never mind.
My bad.
Juicy was a ghost, man. Like a ghost, just slips in and out and pops one in the head.
Do you believe in
7-3
ghosts,
now.
CA?
Sorry?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh. I don't not believe in ghosts, but I don't think I believe in ghosts. I don't know.
Yeah. So you're essentially on neutral grounds with that as well, eh?
Right here.
I guess so, because
Caution here.
it's not like we're empty bodies with nothing, right? I don't think our brain stores our entire personality, so to speak. I'd like to say soul, but I'm not even sure if I believe in soul. So I'm a man of science. I believe what I can understand. And right now, what I can understand is that Juicy's got an op. Unfortunately, he's not able to rip out one tap soul. Still set up the counter peak for JH though, and he spots out that beanie, but the counter stun coming through. Make sure one tap will get a pick. Juicy still holding it down. The anchor coming through. He gets that trade. And again, Revenant, they have nowhere to go.
Revenant, if they opt to go in towards that seaside, they're gonna walk into a decent bet of utility as counter resistance.
Concealment.
They're relying on maybe a pick towards garage, maybe a fight towards B, but that fight's simply not given whatsoever. They walk into what feels like it's almost their graveyard. That's if Darion stays alive. Oh, okay. VSAT commitment and crazy guy giving back his guardian. They only get a single kill.
Oh, but
This is the
remember,
demon that
this
we
is
were hyping
Revenant's
at.
buy.
Seconds left.
Yeah.
And they can't
But
afford
this
to
is
lose
looking like
this.
Bleach
Joshua
match, man.
spotted out. Joshua cinching again. The
Spike planted.
buddies, the new acquisitions for Revenant, trying to pull out the impossible. While Juicy holds it down with his off. They had to separate themselves and know exactly now where the two players are.
Enemy
As Juicy and Darion will combine together and make it happen. Juicy with a nasty one tap onto Ching. But Joshua, he's making the look
Timing.
happen. He's gone ring around the OC, but the timing is what Bleed are so well versed with. As soon as they realize no one's picking them off on the one tap, they know he's gotta be coming through on that rotate. Through the side.
Exactly.
It's match
all
point
about-
for Bleed.
All about comms and clear heads. Yeah, just having quite the laugh. I wonder, we always have that one teammate, right, who always cracks that joke when things are looking good or heated. Bleed certainly has one of them. I'm wondering who that has to be. I think it might be Juicy. It's usually the youngest who are the most, shining in terms of personality.
Enemy remaining.
12-3 now, and Revenant with a broken buy. Two Spectres, the two Vandals, and a Phantom, but it's a couple of light shields on them as well, with barely any utility. Nothing for Ching, nothing for one tap guard, and Revenant, it's all falling apart. They expect the B site hit, knowing Revenant have got a broken buy, and the Nano Swarms with the Aftershock make sure one tap is sent straight to his grave. Josh has taken out as well towards the long. Revenant just now walking into the death trap. The crosshairs of Juicy's up.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's nice.
The operator.
C. One enemy remaining.
Yeesh.
Defenders win.
Knives.
GG.
Make him feel like a barber. And right now he's given more than just a haircut. He's given a headache to Revenant Esports, considering the kind of deadliness we got to see him on the attack. Like, right from the start, right from the pistol round, guy's been a relentless pain that Revenant have not been able to deal with. Why the dominant start? This was, mind you, Revenant's map pick of Haven in this best of 3. Map 2, which is Breeze and Bleed's pick. And mind you, if you're not a big fan or follower of Revenant, a permaban almost for Revenant on their normal days. It's gonna be interesting to see how Bleed close the series out.
It's definitely going to be interesting because now we head into a map. Like you said, there has been the permaban of Revenant, and at this point, Revenant, I really hope they don't play just casual, basic comps, right? Like if they play a Jet Chamber, effectively like almost the mirror matchup of Bleed, then I'm going to be worried. Because then Bleed are going to have the edge in a long, long way. I think it's got to be the velocity route. And even if they don't necessarily have a potent curveball, they've got to try it just for that surprise factor. Maybe they can pull something.
Exactly, man. It's all about trying
Player standing.
and opening up that window of opportunity for yourself. So, yeah. I mean, rounds where Revenant had big ultimates and, an idea as to how to play aggressively on the back of it. It was only those rounds where Revenant truly felt like themselves. Otherwise, when it came to just pure utility and gunplay, Bleed more than ready on both fronts.
Bomb grenade out.
Brilliant flick from Josh S there. The player who's really itching to have a better 23 season. He himself said that he felt like he could have had a better performance throughout the Penta Pro Series. And we've seen nothing but highlights from this man when he plays his signature chamber.
Headshot.
Right here.
Sadly wasn't enough though for the likes of Juicy, for the likes of Darion, for the likes of Scary especially.
Down A.
It really did feel just as what we expected. It was just Bleed continuously in control, not feeling challenged, not ever feeling denied. But there were a few rounds that boiled down to the wire and looked like looked like Revenant had glimmers of hope. But what it does look like may not necessarily always be true, and that's where Bleed were able to make for certain that they are the team to be challenged. They are the team to really look up to in this tournament. 13 to 3, 5 first bloods for Juicy, and a 385 combat score. That's a man on
Nutty.
an insane run of form. Yeah, absolutely nutty. But I think more importantly, just absolutely free, right? He's just chilling. No
I
tension, no
think the
worries.
I think the most combat score that I've seen in a professional game was close to maybe 410 or something along that lines.
Hmm.
But I forget which player it was. It wasn't Haven, if my memory serves me right. But yeah, Bleed. If you had to take one, yeah, I mean, see, you have coached teams through hard situations, right? So if this was a team that you were coaching, if let's say hypothetically you were in charge of Revenant, how would you be able to break this matchup down for them? Because 13 to 3 is something that we expected considering they're facing off against Bleed, but how did they take away from this?
I think it's all about just understanding all the small rounds where it looked like it might work out, but it simply didn't, and how it went around. Because at least think of it of this way, where they've got first skills 6 times in a round, right? That's half the rounds where they got first skills that they were just not able to convert, and this has been a recurring issue for Revenant that we've seen across the bat, where many a maps they've lost despite getting more first bloods than their opposition. So clearly, they don't have
Yeah,
an issue with players like Joshus helping them find the first blood, even one tap go up. How they reposition themselves, how they change their setups after that first blood, that is what is crucial.
yeah, the mid round defaults and the kind of rotations that you do end up committing, especially with a team like Revenant who have been on that up, they couldn't ask for a better test, right? This way, they have so much base material to then practice for the rest of that off season. And hey, it's been a bleed affair from top down under, and Juicy has been quite the terror, not only with his operator, he's been more than proficient with the Vandal. His blade sung the song of death. We're still yet to see how this man performs on Breeze, which another map where players who play Jet, players who play Chamber, players who love manning the operator just can go and have a field day almost.
Yeah. And look, I
54
also
to 8.
love from the side of Bleed that they tried out that Killjoy. Well, we didn't really get to see Darion display his Killjoy prowess to a large extent. It was more just Darion being Darion and having insane aim and insane 1v1 potential. But we did see it at least in the Killjoy turret display with the contact setup in that pistol round. So I'm sure we'd have got a lot more like that in the bag. And I'm curious to see how they make those work out, how they make those span out, because I think that's what is absolutely crucial for Bleed right now to work towards 2023, to work towards that new meta and do their very best to really pull this out.
Exactly. And I think especially for Juicy, this is gonna be a very, very leisure filled time that he's gonna have.
But
Because again, walking into the next season, we're gonna be playing with the new patch, right? And with the new patch, especially when you play
yeah.
against players like Killjoy, agents like Chamber, it's damn annoying. And hey, talking about the demon, let's have a quick word with our man Juicy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another interview. You guys have enjoyed the Juicy segment so far, but this time we have Juicy on the segment. So, how you, man? How you doing?
Hi man, I'm good. How about you?
Well, I'm doing amazing, dude. Considering your performance, I think every other team is scared of Bleed right now. So, before we get things started off, I think it's mission accomplished for Bleed. How you guys feeling back at your bootcamp?
Honestly, we are feeling pretty good about this, and we just want to win again tomorrow to top the table.
I mean, against a team like you who looks solid across the entirety of the map pool that currently exists in the Penta Pro Series, what is your expectations heading into 23? Because again, I've had this chat with you guys before. You guys care about winning this tournament with ease, but 23 is where the real goal's at, right? So, what are your
Yeah.
personal goals and team goals for the next season?
Our team goal is to get into Ascension and win it, so we get into franchise. And personal goals would just be to continue dominating.
Well, I mean, so far in this entirety of the finale stage, we've seen you guys play to your comfort. But considering that you guys have already locked in a ticket to that finale, is there something whack that we're gonna get a chance to see where you guys close things off at day 3?
I think right now we are still sticking to Chamber because it's the last tournament on this patch, so we're just abusing it while we still can. But yeah, we are ready for the next patch.
I mean, you're talking about the broken chamber, right? And I
Yeah,
have
the
to bring this
broken
up. 1 versus 4 against Velocity on Breeze with that third day force. What
Yeah,
was the
there is-
reaction like on the side of Bleed when that happened?
We were all like, I would say we are pretty much we had faith in him. We knew he was gonna win because Chamber is broken. Yeah,
You guys
but
knew
not in
that
the
he was
next
gonna win
patch.
that.
Yeah, but not in the next patch.
I mean, understandably so, man. It's to prevent stuff like what you guys did. So I don't blame Riot in that. And hey,
Yeah.
considering the change up in patches, change up in agents, what variation that you guys were attempting, are you guys still looking to do in the server? Is there anything that you guys are just completely sticking to Old Faithful, or is there something that you're variating with?
I mean, you have to wait and see everything new.
Oh, okay, the classic.
Yeah.
The classic. Okay, I see how you're doing us, Juicy. But hey, I mean, it's been a delight to have you in the interview so far, but I feel like there's one crucial question that I need to ask from you, because I didn't get a chance to ask this from the rest of the Bleed members.
Okay.
Considering that you guys are one of the most favored team from our region to win Ascension, is there any tips that you'd like to give for all those up and coming pro players and those, fans that you have just cheering you on every stream?
I think I'll just say keep up the grind, continue working hard, and you will get there one day.
Well, that's lovely to hear, man. Any final words before we do end up closing this interview?
I just want to say that Ching, tomorrow you're gonna lose.
Sheesh. All right, talk about targeted harassment.
Yeah,
Damn,
see? No,
juicy.
it's okay. He's my good friend. He's so noisy, when we play rank. He doesn't keep quiet at all. He's just singing and singing. So noisy.
Dude, I actually like that about Ching, because every time we
Yeah.
get to see him in the
Yeah.
Revenant player cam, it's always Ching
Yeah.
either cheering people up or having that obnoxious little evil smile of his. So you just gotta love to hate it and hate to
Yeah,
love
so
it.
he brings fun to rank games. Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely having you here, man, and I hope that you guys have an amazing time at the Pro Series. Again, good luck with the finals, and hey, you're yet to decide who you're gonna face off against, Boom or VLT. Anybody that you're favoring to fight off in that finals? Anything that we need to look out for there?
I think we're fine with fighting anyone.
I mean, it can't get more obvious than that, but hey,
Yeah.
had to ask it for the question's sake. Love you, Juicy. Good luck for
Alright,
the
thank
finals, man,
you.
and hope to see you on fumes.
See you. Thank you.
Juicy is that
Oh,
lovely individual, right? I mean, I love the way he set up his narrative for today. It's Juicy against Ching, and I think we got to see Juicy just pop the hell off, man. Now it's on Ching. Ching, I mean, we saw him deliver in the first half. We saw him get a couple of crucial kills, but hey, his team really didn't give him much to work with, and that could change slightly in Breeze, where we're expecting a Revenant squad that's trying to rely a little more on individual success. I'm just trying to be an optimist here, CA.
Yeah, it's looking a little dire. Like, honestly, any other map, I would have been optimistic. But at this point, being optimistic for Revenant on Breeze, it feels like we don't know what they have planned, which could definitely be the case. They have something planned.
Maybe.
But I don't think that's the case, and I don't think Bleed's the kind of team to.
Aw.
We saw it. I mean, yesterday against Velocity
VLT.
with the Euro pickup, where
Yeah.
Velocity started off decent. It was like 3-3, 4-3, and then Bleed just swoop as soon as they understood how Velocity wanted to play. So they're like, yeah, you can surprise Bleed, but you can't surprise them for the entire map with just one set of strategy. Unless Revenant have put in an all-nighter into this match, which I seriously doubt, considering it's a map that we're not going to see in 2023. I don't see how this is going to work out.
Exactly, dude. It's been a weird finale stage for sure, right? And hey, we've started this best of three. It felt like it just was a breeze from map one. That's why you might be confused, ladies and gentlemen, because we're gonna head into breeze as our map leader suggests. The map pick of bleed. If
Well,
Revenant do surprise everybody, not only in SA but also SEA, we might get to head to Pearl where we've seen Revenant in the past. They look pretty decent. They look well put together. And again, it's that copium wave that I'm riding on, CA.
but like, look, man, Bleed, they had a breeze on Haven, and now that we get to go into breeze, they're gonna send Revenant straight to heaven.
Okay, okay. You read that like a time telling pearl, huh? Like why CA? Why we do this?
I couldn't
Like
help it. It was
honestly.
like right in front of me. I had to do it.
Well, it's right in front of all of us at this point. And hey, you can choose to ignore it. You can choose to go by it. Don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess.
Yeah, and I think obviously one thing we do know, and we've said this many a times, but I'll say it again, happily so, because Revenant, they've proven it and they deserve to be thought of that way, which is the fact that they're not a team that gives up. They have the motivational chance, they have the right supporting staff, a extremely helpful organization, and a beautiful team. But, and this is a big one, so hold on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Bleed Esports we're talking about.
Uh, the other day I watched one of their content pieces, dude. It was damn funny. They essentially locked Juicy in a door. I mean, into a room.
Yeah, I saw that.
It looked like a dorm, but hey, I think it was one of their facilities. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they have it sorted on every front at this point. And hey, especially with the kind of momentum wave that Revenant have, again, would be a very very nice treat to have in the back pocket. And talking about a nice treat to have in the back pocket, we have our man Josh to join us at the interview. So the most bubbly person from Revenant. Let's have a couple of words with him. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another segment with our favorite pros. And this time, it's the Cheeky Chamber from Revenant. Joining me is Josh S. How you been, my man?
What's up, man? I'm good. How about you, bro?
Well, we just can't, get sleep with the amount of action that we have in the Penta Pro Series. And in all honesty, with the finale phase, it didn't end up with the way you guys imagined, right? Can you talk us through your performance for the past 2 days?
My performance or the team's performance? Well, both. Okay, so let's start with the individual performance as well. My performance as an individual was, for me, it's kind of off. It's like I'm still adjusting to the team. We're a fairly new team, and then so we have a lot of adjustments to make. And then for the team, I think we need a lot more time. Like, we've gone so far, we've made it to the grand finals. I'm still proud of my team, of what we can do, and I'm proud that we made this far.
Well, true. I mean, having a couple of words with your teammates prior, you guys didn't really have much expectations, right? Now,
Yeah.
you've performed so well. You've been able to gel together brilliantly with One Tap God. How has your route in the Penta Pro Series been? Because all throughout that league stage, you guys have had the difficult run.
Yeah, the run that we had in the Penta Pro Series since the playoffs was really tough. Like, we faced against God's Reign in the upper bracket already. It was a very tough match, and also the VLT. We faced them twice, or I think thrice now, with the match earlier. It's really tough. Like, the South Asian scene is really, really tough. I haven't really expected this kind of scene, but I hope we, try to come back soon.
Well, I'd love to see that, and so will the rest of the audience, I assume. One thing that you guys did get a name for yourself is the ability for you to bounce back, right? Trading maps in the series, especially against like VLT, for example. How do you think that came about? What do you guys do that's special?
Uh, like, after the game, we talk, and then, like, we treat the game as fun. It's like we treat the game as practice and stuff. Cause like when you lose after the map, then you get bad vibes. It really affects the team. So we try to keep it up on the mood, and then we reset all the time. Like every after every match, we try to compose ourselves for the next match, and then we try to make it simple, like that.
Well, considering you're nearing your end at the road down the Penta Pro Series, what are the expectations not only from you but also Revenant for the 2023 season?
Um, we'll prepare harder and then work harder as the ascension comes from 2023, and then I hope to see everyone there also. And you guys prepare. We're coming for you.
Ah, that sounds brilliant. And hey, before we head over to the closing end of this interview, I just want to know from you, what are the chants from Revenant? Because every time we see in the camera, there's a clap, 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 clap happening. So how does that go, man?
uh, it's like the liquid clap. You know, it's like 1 2 1 2 3. Like we before the match starts, before the timer runs down, we say okay 1 2 3 Revenant, and then we clap 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 clap. It's like a routine for us to keep the energy going up and then to remove the pressure and all.
In the coming few tournaments, is there any specific team that you're looking to, have a rematch against? Any specific player that you're looking to settle the score with?
Of course, it's VLT. They beat us
Out of you.
so many times, so I want to have a rematch against them, and hopefully we'll give them a good fight. You know, we'll try to prepare a lot for them.
Well, and like you said, right, this might be the last time that we're seeing you here. So any quick shout outs before you have to bow out of the Penta Pro Series?
Shout out to all the supporters in the South Asian scene. I love you all, guys. You're the best. And shout out to the Revenant owner, Boss Rohit, and everyone, the staff here. You guys, Penta, the team. I like this tournament. It's so good. And my mom. Shout out to my mom. I love
Aw.
you.
Well, finally, that I've gotten a shout out from a player who isn't, giving it to their girlfriend. So I'm really proud of you, man. And hey, I think at least for the context of South Asia, you've got big fans from me and CA with your performance
uh,
lately. Wish you the best of luck, dude, and
Thank
hope
you.
to see a better Revenant next time around.
Thank you, bro.
Well, like I said, right, he's found new fans in the form of both me and UC. I think both of us undoubtedly have to, start to appreciate the kind of not only caliber that Josh
Yeah.
S can bring to the game, but also the personality that he brings outside. He sounds like one of those very fun people who are really new to India. And if I get a chance to go down to Mumbai and, chill a little bit in that Revenant boot camp, I'm pretty sure to take him down to some nice, street food section.
Yeah.
I wonder how that man would thrive under a vada pav in Mumbai weather. I think he'll be sweating down there as well.
Gotta get him like a vada pav and like a fried mirchi, if you know what I mean. Just like those big
Exactly.
ones, and just have him
You
bite
should
in.
you should
But
smuggle those inside. You should not know that there's a mirchi inside. That's how you truly put
yeah,
it to
hey,
the
it's a
test.
fried banana, bro. Op-
It's a
oh
sweetly
no.
marinated chili, so gotta be smart with it.
Oh, that would be funny indeed. Hey, but I think I love the fact that Revenant are supporting them so well with the bootcamp facilities available. I noticed that Ching is settling in as well, doing TikTok dances, while of course Josh says he's loved the food. So I think all in all, kudos to the org for making it happen, for getting them down nice and early. Because honestly, these can be quite taxing processes, exhaustive processes, where you're getting an
Exactly.
international player in, how to settle them with their visa, all the legal shebang, the semantics, and the fact that they've got it done so nicely, quickly, and smoothly speaks a lot about the process and within the org themselves.
Exactly, man, and you gotta love it, right? Especially
Yeah.
considering that with the Penta Pro series, they've had the kind of comfort to play within their best, and they've shown only one side of it, whereas truly yet to behold the Paradox One Tap God duo that could be made in heaven. And hey, they've
Yeah.
kept it a secret from us so far. I've not gotten to see what individuals like Paradox, like Deadly, can deliver to the big rosters that they're now part of. Revenant still have a chance, man, to pull off a big result, but it's gonna require a Herculean effort, as Bleed have shown their prowess on Breeze.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy one, that's for sure. And Revenant, they're going to have to prove their very best, and I love it. They're pushing on that
Morena.
arena. Let's freaking go.
One
One tap
tap.
god on the Jets. So
Let's
double
go.
duelist it seems it is gonna be. And we get to see
Love
that Juicy
this.
versus Shing battle truly come alive.
Yeah. And over on the side of Bleed, a much more methodical approach. We did see GH on his iconic KO yesterday. His flashes were set to brilliance as it broke apart not only Hellfighter's setup towards B, but
Mhm.
also Amaterasu's comfort at that A side whenever he did decide to swap it around. I truly love the way, the entirety of Bleed do come together as this cohesive and cold unit of death that just keeps marching and stampeding apart every team in this Penta Pro series, dude. Sounds like almost the Terminator.
I mean, in some ways they are, right? They're like a Rambo just and continuously just punishing their opponents for some small mistakes. But hey, what is crucial, I think, right now going into this particular matchup is ensuring that these teams are able to pull off their very best, ensuring that these teams are able to live up to that hype and deliver. Because I think I'm especially excited about Ching on that arena. Of course, we know how good Bleed can be. We saw that Darion clutch yesterday, so he's going to be very happy about being able to abuse that chamber for a last few times, and he'll probably make the very best out of it. Let's see, is Shing able to deliver friend versus friend, Juicy versus Shing, Jet versus Radar? Is the anime battle we've always wanted.
I think the anime battle that I've always wanted is between, three agents, Jet, Yoru, and Raze. Like, Raze's movement is just pure anime. And again, Jet and Yoru for, obvious reasons. So, yeah, we almost had that yesterday, mind you. We almost had it yesterday. But sometimes we as casters just get hit with the worst stroke of luck, eh?
I'm imagining like 5v5 Valorant. That would be kind of interesting. I wonder how that would work. But hey, we will have to at least worry
5v5v5.
about
King
that for
of the
much
site?
longer.
I can
Oh
imagine
yeah,
that
now
already,
again,
dude. King of the site, and you get like 10 rounds, but you all have to attack towards a central objective. So it'll be essentially newer maps or variations of map that already exist. Damn, I
yeah.
can already imagine like people go double controller, double initiator, those kind of cringe stuff there. It'll be like playing Holi all over again. It'll be like Holi and Diwali together, you're getting hit with some 10 different flashes. Two nades are coming at you at the same time alongside that gravity pull. I need to go have a bath after thinking stuff like that, dude. It's dirty.
Yeah, it definitely won't be easy. That's probably why it doesn't exist. And maybe a Valorant Battle Royale would be cool too. But hey, we'll have these
Yeah.
discussions later because believe they're going to pick up exactly where they left off. This is exactly how they played their pistol yesterday and they're doing it once again. That mid aggression coming into play, and Juicy and Darion, they've doubled down, they deliver. And Juicy ensures their one tap guard has been shot down. Just like that,
Yeah.
5v2 now on the retake. And Revenant, they haven't even got the space to get the spike.
Last player standing.
And like you said, right, that mid aggression, it was crippling yesterday against VLT. The kind of early pace fights that Bleed are able to force themselves into, it feels like no other team is able to synergize well with utility and positioning to deal with it. We did see VLT try to deal with it yesterday, right? I think on two occasions they tried to fight it out at mid, once with I think close to 3 to 4 members and once with two. Both of the times it ended up with a massacre, favoring Bleed Esports.
Yeah. And in that prospect, I think what is even more scary for Bleed right now is imagining how they're going to be able to. Sorry, even more scary for Revenant right now is how they're going to be able to match up to this aggression from Bleed because it doesn't look like they're going to slow down. OG, once again, they're just more Revenant down. And the calm waters, the serene island of breeze, it's turning into a blitzkrieg. Continuously shutting down the opposition. As Bleed, they've held down the spike now. Will wait for Revenant to walk into their crosshairs as Darion will get his first chance. Instantly delivers. JH likely to do exactly that. Ooh. What? That was a popping sleep. That's real, doesn't
Oh my god. Oh, I love this game, dude. You know what? Even though it's been, I'd say, a quiet best of three so far, seeing stuff like this, that's what at least makes it fun. That's what makes it entertaining.
it? I mean, I thought he was just gonna pop him. You can see they're laughing about it, and they're just like, "What is this guy doing?" He was
The
attempting
Euro
like a
clone that you do not want to see, I
popping
guess.
squared. Yeah, the Euro. They're like, "Wait, didn't we play against the Euro yesterday?" Hey, lead 2-0. Juicy now with the op while the rest of his team plays that bonus round. Revenant trying to force this ace side down and should be able to make it happen easily, but once again, bleeds mid aggression. Works out. Crazy guy shuts down the Hall's Lurk, but Shing and one tap God with crucial pickoffs. Shing now starting to pop off here, OG, and it's what we wanted to see, but still 2v3 on the retake. Juicy on his op, he can make it happen.
Yeah, it's Juicy versus Ching, baby. Duel from the interview, and it's won by Juicy.
One
Juicy
enemy remaining.
living up to his word. It's Blackhawk, who
Whoa!
was the only candidate from Revenant who felt like he's in a vicinity and in position to clutch, at least with recent trajectory. But even he gets denied by Crazy Guy through the boxes. He tick all the boxes as they find what felt like almost an impossible retake.
Yeah.
Blackhawk is laughing his way out, bro. I like this. I like this. It's good Revenant, dude.
It certainly is. And like one thing I love about Revenant has always been their ability to stay almost how do I say this best? Calm, positive, really, under all
Not
this
phased
pressure.
by the situation.
I mean, they definitely look phased. Don't get me wrong, but they still were trying their very best and trying to pull this out. And in many teams, we see the smile stopping, the players starting to frown, the players starting to not communicate as much, and that doesn't happen with Revenant. They're still trying their very best and pulling out all the stops. But now is a Rico and lead with the wetter weapon, just able to pick them out. Blackhawk on the look. Sorry, that was Wimp actually. Gets instantly shut down, and just like that, lead off to a 4-0 lead in this half with Blackhawk just getting flash after flash and Hadouken right click to send him back in. Play, they're having their fun. They're enjoying this map.
Yeah, true, man. And again, like you said, right? JH, he might have the ability to suppress Revenant pretty well, but you can't get them into depress. Nah, not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to see how Ching will perform on his Empress then, dude. Like, it really opens up the ability for him to take fast fights. Maybe a fast take towards B with a quick wraparound from elbow. Something like that could be really good change of pace and objective. Oh no,
Most
the
definitely.
operator. Oh! Sheesh!
B.
Did he get the guy at halt? Yeah, that flick! Not only broke my wrist, but also maybe my ECG for the hooked up onto me. And Juicy continuing to show form. Oh my goodness, Juicy!
Oh my
Juicing them
lord.
to oblivion and beyond!
Juicy the Juicer blends them
I
into
mean,
a hot
now I
mess.
understand why he lives in darkness. Cause he's so fast the light can't catch up.
Talking about not being able to catch up, Revenant in the same boat.
Ooh.
Whew,
Ugh.
whew, whew. What a flick, man. And easily
Boom,
able to
swan tap
double
god.
up, pulls out the knives to just chop them
Gillette
up like
advertisement on the
flippin' at
side.
this point.
Like, what the hell?
5-0 as Revenant lose yet another buy round. They're able to scrape together somewhat of a buy here, hoping to get the ult top on one tap god, but running into Juicy is up. Ooh. He gets a tiny
Will
tag.
survives? There we go, finally punished.
Did he forget he ran
Alright.
out of his knives?
Well, we ran out of life, one way or the other, and one tap god ran away with that operator. Things are looking a little scary. Oh no, one tap, come on. Those are shots that he connects on almost a daily. But Josh just has spotted out every member from this flank. No,
Oh.
no! Why did he have his business card out and in the open?
His business now bankrupt. He sent a pack in. As Revenant still trying to hold on to that post plant. It's on down to Ching and Blackhawk, and they make it count. Revenant finally pick up a round, but I'm still curious why Juicy went for the updraft. It was like he missed the up shot and then updrafted from backside. I think fully expecting to have his knives, and he's like, oh wait, I used them last round.
Oh, dude. One thing that I like as a delightful surprise is Wimp playing controller and Blackhawk going initiator. Like, Breeze is one of those few maps where at least, I'll speak from personal experience, even I like playing the Viper. It's somewhat fun. And hey, at least we get to see Blackhawk on something where he gets more information, he can make more heroic plays maybe. Oh, the brilliant
Just with the
recon.
crucial one.
How?
Oh, poor crazy guy and JH. They make sure Bleed bounce back now. Revenant in a quite a poor position because they've committed the wall. They haven't really got any forward angles with the exception of Wimp. He's able to mark out Nest, but with the drone pushing him out, they'll lose that as well. And now, Juicy on his op, anchoring down the A side. Revenant. Looks like it might all fall apart. Bleed sticking to this B side, expecting Revenant to make a play off that wall. And in that read, they are right. Wimp though gets a crucial pick back in. I think now is the time to rotate to try and head over towards the A side.
Toxins going up.
I mean, Revenant,
Toxins
the one thing that will deter them is the fact that they don't have any map control or any information towards that side, right? Except for the fact that, the trip hasn't been set off yet. So, I'd understand why they want to recommit at B considering that they've already disposed utility, especially that Viper's wall towards this place, but Crazy Guy is an absolute demon, man. The fact that he pushes that and still makes his way back, stuff like those is what you can't expect. Brilliant shock dart. Wow. Straight up over diff.
I think that's why I wanted to see the rotate because Bleed are not the kind of team to just be pushed back by that recon. It was a nice idea. They recon Nest to make them think that they might go for the rotate through Nest, but Bleed are just like, yeah, we got Juicy on the A side. We don't need to worry about it. We'll rotate when he calls for it. And especially considering that they had the Hunter's Fury as well, which could be useful in a potential retake or even to deny a plant that might happen late. Bleed happy to stick to this B site and look for the fights.
You want to play?
And make the round happen again. Revenant on a broken bar, playing on the back of their crucial ultimates, and Black Hockey just runs it down. Tries to set up the drone, but he gets taken out. A 1-for-1 trade for Juicy to pick up the man advantage. Shing though, taking his friend out, and just like that, Revenant, they pulled it back, but not for long.
What? Are you serious, Carrie? The first shot, understandable. That second one,
Yeah, that was
need to
nasty.
replay that right now, dude.
In slow-mo, please.
Hits him through the damn door.
Just beautiful crosshair placement, man.
Let's play.
All
about
this
the
understandable. All this logical. Oh, no, Ching. This.
I think he crouched as well, which helps carry out a little. Everything working for Bleed. Well, everything that can go wrong will go wrong for Revenant as Bleed. They're looking to finish this one off and pick up the pace. Again,
I mean,
having
see,
seen their
it's
setup, it looks like
aggression like that you need to punish, dude. Finally. Revenant are able to do so.
look, it's scary.
You have the Hunter's Fury here, man. This is... Oh, okay.
Spike down.
Okay, Josh Ash with a
Every
huge
time,
shade though.
Crazy Guy. Every time he pushes that wall and gets a kill. How?
He's able to catch them off guard. Still up to Scary too.
More catching off
Did
guard.
this position count for no Ching? He's not gonna be expecting Scary to come in from there for Juicy. I think that's a round they're definitely gonna talk about later because that was a nice thrifty.
Exactly, dude. It's all about punishing the over-aggressive stance. It's essentially at this point, Bleed are asking to themselves, what more can they get away with?
Yeah.
Finally, they get an answer to that. Finally.
Let's see if Revenant can actually use this round as momentum to push it all the way back because they've got up on Josh, yes, on his favored by Well, Scary sets up the Viper Spit, tries to deny the Hunter's Fury. Now coming through as they realize it's a fast
They
thing.
get in for holds.
Crazy guy, he gets a double
Unbelievable.
tag, and he'll make sure one tap god is taken down. The Null Command is well committed to make sure that Revenant, they can't use a single ability to wrap around that Viper. As Scary holds down his world, Bleed hold down everything else around him.
Ores and ore.
Dude, that was such a hard Hunter's Fury
More toxins going up.
for him to land. It almost felt like Revenant almost did that perfectly. The crazy guy once up them. Now they have no upper hand into walking in here at this A side. The only way they get anything done, CA, is, you know, if Blackhawk is able to find something with his drone and, you know, use the Hunter's Fury. But hey, it's not a leveragey ass anymore. And Juicy,
Oh no.
I've seen him
Enemy kill.
tear people apart from range. I've seen him tear people apart with that operator. Has his teammate, baits his teammate, and Revenant are able to make the cross.
But for how long? Because they've got the flank coming through, Revenant.
No time
They're
as
gonna have to
well.
run to this B site, but they can't because the op ready, as well as Crazy Guy. Revenant walk back into the fire or walk straight into death. Either ways, it's not a round or a position they want to be in. J8 shuts down Wimp, and
What a
now
bait.
Blackhawk,
What a bait.
he'll get taken away as well, just like that. It's what we expected, to be frank. Bleed on this map, they're just really damn good, and this is Revenant's perma ban, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Fair enough, right? It's not like they had practice on this particular map. They're trying their best, I guess. It's just, like you said, Crazy Guy one-upping them, not just with his Hunter's Fury, but also in terms of the macro in this map.
Enemy kill.
Exactly. I mean, the entirety of Revenant almost had like a day of PE. Well, Revenant, they have one last chance at it here in the second half. They have the Hunter's Fury, they have the Viper Split, but getting control towards side has been the bigger problem for Revenant. Try to find the duels, but they're still able to isolate Crazy Guy. The Hunter's Fury gets JH into a very, very uncomfortable position. And Darion isn't able to make good on his promise either.
Was that so best?
I like this. Love this. Nice fast
Yeah,
play.
it's a blueprint that we've seen work out in Haven as well. When Revenant take matters into their own hands, when they try to match fire with fire, it works out. Well, at least more often than not. There are a few rounds where Bleed just pop off and deny that with the individual duels, but it makes sure that it's coming down to these basic fights which Revenant are actually able to pull out. So keep being aggressive, fast and quick, because I think the slow approach is not going to work out on a map that they haven't necessarily practiced it. So they're going to do that once again. They do that with a slight change. Leave Joshua's on the lurk in a 4-1 split.
Dude, is Crazy Guy doing the Guardian challenge or something? He has money.
Maybe just practicing the Guardian.
Okay, I mean, Darion is like, dude, I can, you know, deal with it myself. You save that for some other day, maybe. Straight up judges them, man. Damn.
Yeah, but it's not even like you can't be like, bro, that guy is judging. He popped 2 with the headhunter right before that. He was like, I'll do you dirty long range and I'll do you dirty up close as well. Wherever you come, it's just pure death.
The true meaning of diversity, I guess. Now I was thinking, see, like, imagine for the next agent, the agent's all about stealing. Like, you know, stealing your, stealing an ability, stealing maybe weaponry.
I mean,
A different concept than what we have in terms of utility, at least for now in Valorant.
Let's go.
in Valorant, yeah, but there's one like that already in League, and I would love to see that happen because it would be a very cool one. I think it has to be a Sentinel.
Sheesh.
There's one tap god living up to his name. We've got the exact same half, I believe, as we did in Haven. 9-3 right now. And last time around, it was Bleed who picked up the pistol. The 4 Revenant, one tap. He's put them in a much better position. And Revenant coming now through on the flank with Joshua's in a great position. Can't deny the rotation with the help of Wimp. Wimp turns away.
He hears this though. He knows. That's exactly where they are. It's all about timing. It's all about patience. It's all about that one lethal strike that Josh's can land. Been more than patient. Oh no. No.
RIP.
No.
No, I don't-
No. No.
Poison orb.
They know where Vamp is.
Top 10 moments before disaster. Tragedy strikes Revenant's life
Orb emitting.
twice. It's a nice jingle. But hey, Revenant's still in a great position. While Wimp is stuck down low, so is JH, and Ching able to take him out, leave Scary with just 50 HP and a dream. Is Ching our one-man Reina dream team to pull the round off? The duelists chiming in well together.
Look at him, man.
I
Look at
don't know
him.
what he said, but it sounded funny.
Juicy did mention that Ching could be quite the loud one, so.
One down.
Ooh, nice shot.
Silver lining here for Revenant. I mean, hey, you have both Josh Yes and one tap god, right? You have proficient operator and duelist individuals within Revenant, but just half of what Breeze is to some extent. Really hoping to see them fight back and fight strong. Decent start to a half, to a round like this in this half, where they can't give any more room for Bleed to work with. They deal with it in a very clinical manner, man. Having 4 members alive, they have the economy now, and let's go, Ching!
Yeah,
Literally
like
held
that
his
one.
mouse up for that, dude. Literally held his mouse for that.
He's paying his respects to his mouse, and oh no, Scary's pulling up his pants. He's got up. I feel like Bleed might pull up their pants as well with the next round. The buy coming through now. And look, I haven't mentioned the word comeback because I still feel it's extremely unlikely. But if they win out this bonus here, Revenant, still unlikely, but it's not impossible. Shing now in this one-off angle. Someone needs to break that drone
Doesn't
from
get
it.
checked. He doesn't get checked.
Doesn't check. Oh no.
Avoids the dismiss. Oh my goodness, he avoids the suppress, is able to dismiss, and now able to re-engage on the back of Wimp. They do it in tandem, and the defense holds for Revenant. They're able to dismantle Bleed, and of one small error of Crazy Guy not checking the close cubby. Ooh,
Let's go with the bonus.
Revenant. Oh, very, very brilliant. Off angle
Hello.
held, and hey, it's all about playing to your confidence, playing to your comfort. That's exactly what Revenant did there.
They were able to pick them off. Like Ching picks off those Doritos right next to his desk. And a crucial round, man. They win the bonus. Now they get most likely this yet another round right here. And Bleed,
Yeah.
for them, this is a wake-up call because I think they might have taken a second too lightly. Mistakes like that not characteristic of Bleed whatsoever. But Ching now, he's starting to pop off.
Dodges it.
He's feeling that momentum. And looking for the aggressive plays. It's Blackhawk and Ching doubling down. Well, it is just an eco for Revenant. Every round counts. Every round that they can inch closer towards that score line, they'll make it happen. And 9-7 now, Revenant. They win the next buy. It's equalized. The comeback is most definitely on.
Dude, I so wish that one of our production personnel is recording Revenant's comms during this entire matchup. I really want to see now what Ching is saying. it's like every round he gets more vocal. Every kill he shouts more. And that's the kind of team that I'm having that I absolutely love, man. It absolutely fires up those individuals like One Tap, those individuals like Josh S, who haven't really had the best of starts. And they're just
Lead on
2
their bye
rounds
now.
away from equalizing this.
Yeah, and that's why for Bleed, this buy round crucial. Revenant trying to shut it down. They got Joshus on the op holding down. A main is that Chamber we chamber
Oh,
back
Ching!
up on the back of the knock command. They're trying to push it in. Ching catches a crazy guy with his fingers to his head on that drone. He's shut down for JH with some crucial trades. Pulls 2 back, but One Tap God now on the flank is Bleed stuck in an awkward position with nowhere to
Run
go.
forward setup.
Bleed trying to play it slow, trying to catch someone out, force them into an awkward position,
One
get a
tap.
mistake of their own, but all this time,
Nice
he's got One
timing.
Tap God exactly what he needs. Darion though with the trade, and now it's a 1v1.
1v1.
Blackhawk versus Darion, and the spray just won't land. The strafe beautiful for Blackhawk and Reverend. They pull back yet another buy.
Oh god. The kind of aggression from Ching. Unbelievable timing, unbelievable fortune. They say fortune favors the brave, right? Kind of steps that he took. Crucial steps to win Revenant that round and break the economy of Bleed. Look at the investment, dude. Josh has had the operator in the round prior. I think that was something that they were able to save. It's going to be very crucial to have this one individual awaken from his slumber and transition into the beast that we know he is. This map breeze, not a map that Revenant plays, so we assume that it's going to be individual comfort and prowess that pushes Revenant and propels them towards victory. Right now we require that brilliance. We require that prowess.
Oh, the Viper split set off from both of these controllers trying to hold it down, but Wayne
Deleted.
finds themselves on the
Line
back
up.
of a cracking juicy shot. Ching, though, he's able to get one right back and dismiss out of his way. So 4v4 while they get the trades. Bleed in a better position now because they can play on their Viper split. They can play for that post spot.
They have the drone though, man. And they need to make good use of utility if they want to navigate this round in security. One tap god quick to the trade, however, is is Darion. And Josh has taken down Darion, gives the lead. At least in terms of the man and the numbers. To RNT. The shorty out, the CQC, they know the position of Scary. They can isolate this. Well done, Revenant. They take it step by step. And step up their game. Who's the
They're
person to
having
the
a
right?
brilliant time. That's a
Is
bit,
that-
I believe.
He's enjoying
Yeah,
the
that's a
team
bit.
dynamic as well, man. Straight up
Yeah, he's
Doritos
the
for pulling out gamer
manager.
moves.
Yeah. I love seeing how excited almost Ching is, how much energy he has, and like you said, that energy is infectious, is able to translate to one tap god. Translate into the rest of the team. They're able to pull a crucial round back. Now 9-9, the comeback is definitely on and lead. They don't play it slow. Revenant, they've shown a propensity to match that fire with fire. Is Shing feeling
And
that
again.
momentum, feeling that form. He's looking for the aggression. Might just catch Crazy Guy out.
No information.
Oh, the drone!
Probably
Oh
to
no,
play
the
out.
drone.
Oh no. Not like this. Not like this. Is he gonna knife?
Knife him. Oh.
Ulti out. Dismiss. Has information on Darion's position. Knows the peak is inevitable considering the position of that rendezvous. Although with that, today force, Darion is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Initiator out of the back, less information for Bleed to now walk into that A side with. So, this essentially kind of forces Bleed to somewhat play a little aggressive towards that post plant, right? Because they don't have information to play passively and, set up a crossfire and duel.
I
Oh,
think,
an opening for Revenant.
yeah, Darion still has the trademark, so they could just set up the trademark for the flank and play on the liners for Scary, but it's not really Bleed style, so like you said, I think the expectation is they will play slightly more aggressive on the post plant.
Nice
And
utility.
even here you can see trying to bait out the fights, trying to bait out a pick, push Joshua out of position, but finally they'll, with the fragment, take him out of orange and set up their plant. But the plant done quite deep, so it's not necessarily a plant easy for a man
Flash.
looking to just play on site.
Oh, brilliant pick. Josh has taken out the equation. No more sniper prowess for Revenant. They need to rely on the front lines holding. One tap god. Does he find timing? You bet he does, but he's not able to find life beyond that. They're not able to use and synergize in terms of utility and timing in the form of that retake there for Revenant Esports. It feels like everyone from Revenant Esports were caught individually off guard.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, Bleed on this map, they've lost before from 10-2 up. I'm sure the trauma of that's still lingering, so the comeback of Revenant, it will be taken very seriously. It shouldn't be taken lightly whatsoever. But Bleed able to pull back a crucial round. I think this match really starting to spice up now. 10-9, it's all down to Josh's Zorp, but The 0 point reveals his presence. He's suppressed. He's denied. But this is the Josh S we know. It doesn't matter if they know where he is. It doesn't matter if they dump utility on him. He's gonna hold his angle. He's gonna not give up without a fight. And again, it's crazy guy caught out of position. One tap guard, able to take him out and bleed. Not able to find the trade, waiting for the aggression to punish. Not able
Asks
to
himself the
launch.
flash as well. Yeah, but he chooses the more conservative option, allowing Josh S to punish and to fall back. Could be the moment that Revenant have been vying for. This close to pulling off the biggest upset that we could have asked in 2022. And they double up their man advantage. Bleed, lacking Crazy Guy, lacking Juicy. They not only have one member who's lacking, they don't only have a member to not take point anymore, but they also have less information to base their hit on. We fall into that same old mid round where it's only going to be possible for Bleed to come back if Revenant show them the way.
Spike down mid.
Revenant with the man advantage though, looking to equalize, but the spike's been planted and Scary still has his smoke. Spike should be planted, and Scary still has his smoke and has a snake bite. So Darion, he needs to hold down this site because Scary's not gonna have time to clear, not gonna have time to fight him. Hunter's Fury now coming down as Scary tries to plant, but Hunter's Fury will deny, and that's a round for Revenant. They're able to pick it up. And while Darion does find a trade, it won't matter. All Revenant care are about the rounds. It's getting a little more serious. While the smiles are still there, you can see a slight undertone of tension, especially in Bleed's faces. 10-10 now from 9-3 up. Bleed facing the brunt of Revenant's might. The comeback is nigh.
30 seconds left.
Dirty little flick, dirty.
Right here.
A dirty little comeback that Revenant have managed to knit together.
Take flight.
We now need to rely on maybe more of an execute reliant
Again.
set piece. It's Crazy Guy to get picked apart. This mid round hasn't really been working for the MCA, and I understand the change of pace. It's something that might throw Revenant off guard, but they still cope. They still do brilliant on their defense, and one tap guard not deterred.
Darion though in a 1v3 doesn't land the flick this time out, and that's 11-10. As one tap guard can feel his heartbeat increase, and rightfully so, man. That position a scary one, but look, I'm not sure if it's Crazy Guy's fault, but again and again he's being caught out of position with utility in his hands. I think Bleed need a timeout right now because they seem to be nervous almost. It's not the clinical Bleed that we have witnessed, and more importantly, Revenant are on a tear, but we haven't seen a single timeout come out, and the Revenant are happy to capitalize on that run of form, and now Revenant with the read. Expecting an A-side hit, they stack up here. They leave Josh S with the op to mark Halls as well, and it's Shing once again taking that aggressive peek, finding that opening kill and shutting them down, but the null command forces him into an awkward position. He can't reposition, and all the hopes and dreams of Bleed to deny match point
No,
in
he
the hands
doesn't
of
want
Juicy.
flip.
But wait, what? Wait.
Oh my goodness, he finds the double! He finds the opening! And he finds himself the closure as well! Bleed! Giving away map point to Revenant Esports! The most unlikeliest of maps, the most unlikeliest of circumstances. Beyond anybody's expectation, and Revenant still deliver.
Spike down A.
Bleed looking weak, and Revenant like hungry wolves. They're bouncing, they're ripping them to shreds and making sure they're easy peasy meat. Match point now for Revenant after a 9-3 loss in that first half in a map that they perma-ban no less. Maybe that needs to change first of all and put Ching on that rain up permanently so, but again, Juicy, his dash fails. Blackhawk catches him out, and one tap guard, he doubles down. Josh is with yet another, and Darion, while he does find the trade, he's now in a 1v2.
It's
And
done!
he will shut him down. The comeback happened, and they can't believe it themselves. Revenant with an absolutely humongous map to take us to map 3 here in this match. What a phenomenal storyline. They're just like, what?
Look at Gopi. Look at Ching. He's like, I told you so, man. I told you so. What the hell?
Wow. Wow.
Lost for words. I wish we
And
had the
Revenant
bleed
now,
cam
man.
right now.
Exactly. The Revenant are on a great run of form and Bleed just in a state of shock to a certain extent. They're like, they confused what went wrong. Juicy is the only one with a smile, I think, just happy for his friend. But I think, all in all, it doesn't matter now because heading into the third map, Revenant have proved what we talked about after the first map. They're not the kind of team to back down. They're not the kind of team to give up. They will fight and fight until their last breath. And this time, in the most crucial of moments, they make it count. And now we head on to Pearl, a map where we have seen Revenant thrive before, a map where Revenant have pulled off great victories. And why just pull one over Bleed?
What the hell, man? Again, for context, for those who don't really follow the South Asian scene for as long and do not know the strength and weaknesses of every team, Velocity are the best team on Breeze here down at South Asia. And Revenant, they make a meal out of a Bleed who just put DLT to place yesterday. On this very map.
Spike planted.
It's a tough one, OG. It's a tough one because I think Bleed had this in the bag. Several mistakes from Bleed, like the drone not checking an angle, crazy guy getting caught out time and time again by Ching's aggression, and usually that's something you expect Bleed to be able to stabilize, to hold on, but so many things I did not expect with respect to no timeouts, first of all. That's got to be confusing, right? I expect, if not the coach, at least the players to pick up a timeout just to slow things down, but it's almost like Bleed, they just didn't care. Stubborn almost, in a certain way, where
Enemy remaining.
convinced that they'll beat Revenant in their own regard, and the Revenant, they make them pay. They etch it into Bleed's minds that you've got to respect Revenant when they've got that form ongoing, when Ching is getting louder and louder every single round, and he's sharing his momentum, infecting his team with his energy, and ensuring that Revenant are able to make that comeback.
Best part is they didn't even need the rev and clap to even get it through, man. I was noticing the player cams all throughout the
You
game.
don't need the clap when Ching is clapping
Ing them.
all of Bleed.
Yeah, exactly. Again, a 9-3 game that
You're done.
will forever attribute the scoreline to be cursed.
Hey,
And runs
it's
like
not
these,
just a
right?
scoreline.
Where again, Ching
Yeah.
finds a slacking crazy guy, either in terms of utility or in terms of position. Always
just
essentially
crazy guy.
give the lead.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily just blame Crazy Guy. I mean, he is the IGL, so he should be
Obviously,
wary of
dude.
it. But you
Team
can just
effort.
put, you see the trap here in this round, for example. If you put that trap in that round, knowing you're marking B, you've got Darion marking mid, and Crazy Guy doing the drone towards A. The only place you can get flanked from is halls, so you've got to have that trap to mark that hall's presence. But it felt like in every single round, Bleed would leave this small vulnerability opening, daring Revenant to almost come and play, and Revenant like, huh? Are you joking? We're happy to make it happen. 7 first bloods for Ching, man. He popped the heck off. Ching for duelist. No, I'm kidding.
Ching for duelist, bro. Like I'll have myself chant that alongside you if you needed to, man. What the hell? This is one of the most disgusting performances that we've had in the entirety of the Penta Pro Series so far. And it yet again goes to feed into that Rena paradox, right? This hero is going to be a menace if you do not put it to a stop. The only way you can deal with the Rena is by not letting that agent get the ball rolling. And it feels like Ching, especially on his defense duty, was never denied. Never. And it's again
Yeah.
on that defense where the comeback really did form into full picture, right? Because their attack, considering the fact that they had that double duelist, still was pulled apart by that simplistic bleed defense, which again, it's so much easier to choke on the attack rather than the defense because in the attack you need a constant game plan. On the defense, you're playing off what the enemy's game plan is and just being more reactive in nature rather than proactive.
Yeah, man. And at this point, I'm just gonna take all of the strategies and throw them in the bin because all that matters is Revenant's run of form, their momentum, this ability to just against all odds bounce back because they've done it not just once, not just twice, time and time again across this entire tournament. Where they were down against Reckoning, they did it then. Where they were down against God's Rain, they did it then. Almost pulled it off against Velocity as well in the grand finals after going down in the first map of their own choice. And Revenant, a team that has shown the caliber and the mentality to be top tier athletes, and they do it today by taking down one of the best teams in the tournament so far on a map that they've never ever played. 13 to
Exactly,
10
and that's
Revenant.
what blows our darn brains out the window. Like, honestly, like, what's the point of it anymore? Like, statistically, this is never supposed to happen, CA. This, I think the best way to put it is the match which was statistically supposed to be the least in the form of giving an upset ends up becoming the biggest one. And this fills all the boxes, man. It's hard to believe that a bleed which had a 9-3 first half and then went over to the attack had only 3 post plants, which they only managed to win 2 out of. You know? Unimaginable stuff.
That's not the bleed that we've seen on Breeze before. That is a bleed I've seen once on Breeze before.
Trauma.
And really, it was in that matchup against Made in Thailand 10-2 and really pushed them back. But boy, oh boy.
I'm still pinching myself, CA. I'm making sure I'm not tripping. Like, despite Darion's best efforts, despite him playing a signature agent on a map where he put VLT to a stop by ease.
Yeah. And Revenant settling the doubts once and for all, where it's not about the statistics, it's not about the players in terms of their firepower, it's about executing on that day, on that map. Revenant doing that. Now we head into Pearl, and we'll have to see. I think, again, this has been, we talked about even in the pre match lobby, for a blueprint for Boom to a large extent, where Boom maybe will pick up
Exactly.
Breeze now. Boom might go and practice that for tomorrow's grand finals. So clearly, it's something that they can do for. Yeah, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
I think
regardless what,
Revenant
there's
need
gonna
to be
be
given
happy
props.
boom noises in the chat, man. There's gonna be happy boom noises there. Like, my oh
Yeah.
my, did this game blow us all back quite a notch? Sheesh. I mean, Juicy, he wanted this rivalry, right? He really wanted Ching to step up. Well, now he's gotten a Ching that steps up. Now he's gotten a matchup on his plate. Bleed, they wanted a Penta Pro Series where they don't drop a single map. Well,
Nope.
not only did they drop a map, but the fashion that dropped it in is what's to take notice here, ladies and gentlemen. Oof, it's gonna be. This is not. This is not the ideal, Friday walking into the office for Bleed anymore. This is a completely different Friday now.
And you might wonder, does this top tier roster a favorite for Ascension? Do they bleed? Well, the answer is yes. Bleed
Yes.
certainly does bleed. Revenant showing that for us. And now, just like Batman, they'll have to step up, be that kryptonite truly so, and turn that one map into one series and really leave Boom licking their lips, waiting for the grand finals. Because I think this just turned the spice up a notch, turned the temperatures way up high, and really made sure that we have no idea what to expect going into Pearl.
See,
Boy,
I
oh
get
boy.
where you're coming there, coming from that assumption, CA. But here's the thing: much like Batman, are Bleed gonna get the comeback they need but don't deserve? Because right now, looking at the storyline, looking at this matchup, it has to be Revenant, man. Come on.
No, but
If
Bleed
they
is
do
not
this, if
bad,
they
man.
take Bleed, I'm not telling them not. I'm not telling them not. They got a 9-3 first half, CA. Exactly what I'm saying. They're good. They're good. But Revenant showing that they're just slightly better. And hey, and nobody
Yeah,
expected this coming into this, man. I feel like I've gone insane already. I've gone insane, man. At
exactly.
this
So
point,
Bleed is Superman, right? And now they
and
have
again,
to.
like you said, dude, with the way we saw Pearl the last time around, right? We got to see Josh S
Yeah.
with that Phoenix. We got to see Duelist Josh S. That'll be like next level stuff. If he goes back to his chamber, I still feel like it's something that we're gonna enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I could just as easily see put Josh S on Chamber just to give Cheng the duelist because he's popping off. Why the heck not?
Why not? Exactly. You can put I mean there still is a good way you can run the double duelist composition on a map like Pearl, although like you said the double controller is something that's still a thing of dreams, right? If you're playing a more utility based lineup. And you know what, we've talked a lot about this. I've said we've talked a lot about this matchup. Let's have a word from Famous and let's have his thoughts on what's happened in the Penta Pro series so far before we do go on Pearl.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another post-match interview. This time with the one and only Famous from Boom Esports. How you doing, Famous?
I'm feeling blessed, feeling good. We're playing like very well as well. I'm happy.
Okay, lovely. First thing I actually want to ask is, am I saying your name right? Is it Famous or is it like a different pronunciation? How do you
Yeah,
say it?
it's famous with the
Okay,
Z. Yeah.
so where is the Z just like a random change? Or does it have a story of any regard? Why Famous?
It's actually my middle name, like Zaki.
Oh,
Yeah.
ah. So you want to be famous as Zaki's famous? Is that it?
Not really.
Fair enough. I do want to ask you, I think, going into next year, you guys are on a roll, right? Like, you came into the Boom roster right before LCQ and you had a great run. So, now being a permanent part of the squad, how are you feeling going into 2020?
Well, actually, our journey from the start not really smooth. Got some loss right here, and we got dominated as well. But we, but we actually figure things out together. Prague also not really well last month, and yeah, I think pretty sure we can do the next year.
Okay, very nice. How are you feeling after yesterday's loss against Blade? I know you guys targeted them on Fracture. It didn't work out, very close though. So how did you react after that match?
Well, it's actually like a really close game.
Yeah.
So a couple mistakes like here and there. Yeah, we just keep watching the fort and what our mistake is.
Now, how are you just feeling about Velocity tomorrow, like the matchup? Because if you win, you qualify for finals.
Yeah, hopefully we can do like 2-1 or 2-0 like real quick, so we can go through the grand final. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. And how do you feel about Bleed as an opposition? I think you guys and Bleed are like two of the strongest teams going into Ascension. So how do you feel about that rivalry?
They're actually playing really good as well. Like from last year, we fought them like really close game. Also, they for sure they have a really strong aim.
Lovely. And I think one final thing is, of course, what are your personal goals for 2023? Is it that getting to franchisee, to Ascension League?
Yeah, for sure. First thing, going to franchise league.
Lovely, man. I hope we get to see you there. And before we end it off, any shout outs like to anyone you want to do?
Shout out to thank you for everyone for supporting us, and yeah, sorry that sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, but we're trying our best.
That's exactly what all fans are about. So thank you so much, Famous, for joining me today. It was a pleasure talking.
Thank you for having me.
And that man we just talked to is definitely licking his lips. He's going to be waiting for tomorrow's match because this is a bleed that he can definitely beat. It's a bleed that have shown signs of weaknesses. But hey, Revenant, for all of you guys just joining in, probably for all of you guys who tuned out around 93, they're like, yeah, Revenant's done for. Surprise, surprise! Revenant pulled off an insane comeback on the back
Oh
of
god.
Ching, one tap gore, all popping the heck off. And promise, like, trust me, it's okay, you can miss us for like a few seconds, go back into the stream and see their winning moments. The joy in this team was just absolutely brilliant.
It was unbelievable, man. And hey, while you go
Yeah,
back and check the comeback, we're gonna just glance through the map veto. Started off on Haven, right? A very, very, very dominant bleed. Just put Revenant to the curb. And hey, Revenant, they had problems from the get go. It felt like Bleed really felt at home on Haven. But when it came to changing up their game plan, right? We mentioned that the only way Breeze is doable for a team like Revenant is if they play off individual success, individual setup, and individual prowess. And what we got to see so often on that defense was individual plays. Like Ching, not only did he come up with cubby positions which netted him value, but his flank through halls, for example, which was undeterred for, if I'm not wrong, 3 rounds straight. The push through B main for that early frag, which was not punished through the peek from back window. These are things that if you don't really administer, it's not going to put a stop to the defense playing aggressive. And Breeze, like Icebox, like Fracture, is a map where the defense is going to either play aggressive or hold those cheeky off angles in towards the side to punish you as you orchestrate your hit. And that's what we saw Crazy Guy fall prey to on multiple occasions.
yeah. And Bleed's weaknesses been exposed. Revenant now in a great position because this is a map they had the chance to practice and under a lot of stress, no less. So going into Pearl, Revenant definitely will be feeling themselves. They'll be feeling that they can pull anything off. They'll be on cloud nine to a certain extent, and we'll have to see if Revenant can replicate that run of form, or we see a Bleed that just bounce back. Because this is a test for Bleed too, as well, OG, because Bleed have never been in this position before in the Penta Pro Series. Every single time we've seen them play against the likes of Boom and Velocity, it looks like Bleed are always in control. This is the first
Exactly.
time control has been snatched from their hands. They've been dealt a devastating blow. So now they're mental in question. Can they bounce back? Can they recalibrate and push on strong?
Exactly. It's all fluid and it's all calm when it's working peacefully, right? As soon as they throw a wrench in the machine, stops abruptly, like it did in that second half. And
Mhm.
hey, Pearl, like we mentioned, a map where Revenant are no strangers to, a map where we've seen Revenant pull out a variety of playbook where they play on the back of utility, they play on the back of aggression, they play on the back of setup, they play on the back of set execute. They're able to slow down their approach and play more contact based. So we know that Revenant truly feel comfort on a map like Pearl. And we mentioned this, right? If it goes all the way to map 3, we stand a chance to see something great, something that we might never see again. And hey, it's been a 2022 throughout South Asia where a lot of teams have asserted dominance, right? At least in the context of this previous year, we have not seen many upsets per se. So I think the narrative that this builds, the last time we might get to see Revenant in 2022, the last time we get to see them perform in the Penta Pro Series, the last time we get to see them play without Paradox and with this one tap god, working alongside a Blackhawk that looks teaming out, a Wimp that's looking to make high impact plays on a daily, and a Josh S and Ching duo that simply did not relent.
Anything can happen. Look, anything can definitely happen. And at this point, what Revenant have done is give a lot of hope to all their fans, to all their players, and to all their staff. I think the coach, especially, he's got to be motivating in his words, but I think to a large extent, just let them be. As I think Ching has picked up that motivational role. He is the hype man, and he's really getting the energy going. We could see how how excited all the players were, but more
Yeah,
importantly, how joyful they were feeling. Because excitement is one thing where they might be reacting as if, oh my god, we just got an impossible win. But it's another thing to be laughing at your opponent's mistakes, to be wondering, oh my god, how did they not punish this, and to be able to laugh at your opposition, because that puts you in another level of confidence to be able to go for those excessive peaks and make them work in your favor. Now, none of this logically actually works out. It's all about that human factor, the human emotion coming into play, and that's where Bleed have been tested. Can they
exactly.
truly just step aside and make it count in map 3?
Yeah, and I'm super happy that you use the word human emotion, right? Because even though I don't have the opportunity to even have a, say with what the Revenant folks are having a discussion about, but if I was in that position, apart from doing that Revenant chant, one thing that I will say to them is that, hey, given the upset that you guys pulled off, given the comeback that you guys pulled off on Breeze, the pressure is no longer there. Right now, it's Bleed who are afraid to lose. It's not Revenant. Revenant, they're here to play. Win or lose, they don't care. They play. And that's something that they
Yeah.
proved. So it's classic in terms of what an upset could be in sports. The most unlikeliest of upsets and the most unlikeliest of circumstance. And hey, if Revenant do this, they're writing history in 2022.
Exactly. And look, the fact remains, I think, for while we expect Bleed to be a strong team, we haven't necessarily seen them on this map anytime recently. So, at least in terms of statistics, actually, it does favor Revenant to a large extent. They faced off against the likes of God's Reign, who feel very comfortable on Pearl. They've
Made it
beaten
look easy.
them quite convincingly. Exactly. And this is a Revenant that is sure to be confident heading into this map, because it's not a map where they necessarily play meta. It's a map where they play their own style, play their own game, and play that own style and own game, with Ching making insane pushes, aggressive pushes on Breeze is what worked out. It's what got them the win. So to add on to what you said, I just say, like, hey, look, you guys put off an insane comeback. Just play your game. Don't worry about what Bleed are going to bring to the table. Don't worry about what Bleed are going to look like, and play your game. Look at your strengths, and I think honestly, more than even Breeze, Revenant are in a better position to pull out.
Honestly, man. I mean, that's how statistics work, right? And that's why that comeback on Breeze was the most unexpected one that we've seen in recent history.
Yeah.
A team, especially on their attack, truly get tested on a map that they're not comfortable with. And hey, they were able to bag those three crucial rounds. Sure, they required big ultimate plays from a player like Wimp, who was able to get his Viper Assault off. There were a lot of individual plays made in the front line by not only Ching but also One Tap God and Josh S in those few moments where they did taste success in that first half. And then thereafter, it was only a Josh S and a Ching show for all I'm concerned. Especially Josh S with that operator finally got a chance to at least feel comfortable, right? And again, the
Mhm.
last time we saw Revenant Esports, it was on the back of having no chamber and no jet on this map, which means they didn't really have the best opportunity to use the operator. I think saw Josh Yes on the Phoenix pick it up, in fact. So if that could change, if there could be a slight variation, it won't be that readable for Bleed Esports. And hey, considering that I did have a chat from the members of Bleed Esports, they seem pretty confident in their abilities. So they didn't really have much time to go back and watch the older games from Revenant, from Velocity. So for all Revenant is concerned, even that default strategy is still something Bleed might not be able to see coming as clearly.
Oh, 100%. And for Bleed as well, right? If you look at the statistics over the last few months, the last time they played Pearl was in the GXR off-season event, and they actually lost the map. And it was one of their worst losses in that series. And it has been similarly the case all across the board, where they lost 13-6, right? So I think Revenant most definitely have a chance, and Bleed have been exposed on this map before, especially with that comeback, that momentum in their sides. They're sure to be just feeling that they're invincible, unbeatable, which is why the start is crucial. They need to keep that thought process going, and to get off to a strong start is the best way to do exactly that. If Bleed are able to get off to a strong start, a 3-0, 4-0 lead even, the energy may not necessarily remain across the entire team. So My eyes on players like Josh S, like One Tap God especially, to lead the charge for their team, to command that aggressiveness to a certain extent and demand their team to play on their own game. That's how you find success. And if they do that once again, Revenant might just make history right here, right now, without even qualifying for the grand finals.
Yeah, and hey, Revenant on their road to making history have at least made a couple of facts, right? And one fact as it stands is at the moment, Revenant, one of the only teams in South Asia who's truly shown the ability to bounce back in long games. I feel like one
Oh, yeah.
very, very crucial aspect of being a good team is to have the ability to last an entire series with that same mental and physical energy. And at least for the sake of the rest of the South Asian candidates we had God's Reign, we had Reckoning Esports, we had a lot of newer teams put together. People like One Chance who were in it for an opportunity to get to a better start in 23. All of them had
Mm-hmm.
individual promise, all of them had decent coordination, but none of them had the endurance. Once things stopped working, you really saw the entirety of their match fall to pieces and just unravel in front of their eyes. Didn't happen to Revenant throughout the Pro Series, man. And I'm darn happy with the performance that they put out, not only throughout the playoff, but here at the finale, where once they're off their leashes, once they're off their stress, they play their A game.
Yeah, exactly right. And that A game is going to most definitely come out from Revenant, because again they're gonna go on to a situation that they're very comfortable in. But we won't have to wait much longer. We won't have to theorize much longer because we're just about ready with the lobby, and in a couple of minutes we should head right in. Now I'm curious to see, does Ching's run of form grant him a duelist? Because to be fair, he's going to be performing just as good, irrespective of whether or not he's on that duelist. He's been one of the consistent players for Revenant throughout. Like between him and Josh S, they have delivered in a lot of situations where Revenant necessarily haven't. And that's where I think, again, Ching has to be that shining light for his team. He has to be like that hype man. Like every artist carries a hype man with themselves just so they can get the juices flowing, their mood in the right place before heading into a concert. Similarly, so it's the same in athletes as well, because to have a hype man like that as an athlete in your team has got to get your mind in the right place, not focused on wins, losses, or any of that, but rather focused on the game.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the variables, right? The things that could, but let's talk about the things that would now, because there are some things that I'm surely expecting from Revenant on Pearl. Now,
Okay?
considering the way this entire best of three has transpired, and now that we're on the last map, I think everybody is now going to at least revert back to their primary role. So we're not going to see
Yeah.
Blackhawk necessarily play the initiator, and we're not going to see Wimp necessarily play the controller. It's going to be the other way around. I feel like we have a good chance of seeing the Astra being drafted in by Revenant, as Blackhawk has shown so much individual brilliance on that agent. We also have a good
Yeah.
opportunity. We're going to have Wimp revert back to that the breach. It's an agent that he finds a very good ability to set up with on this map. So I'm expecting something along the lines of a double initial. Yeah, I was gonna say fade is something that's very customary on this map. It's hard to play Pearl
Mm-hmm.
without a fade.
Oh,
So wait, what the
oh,
hell?
Ching Duelist. Ching Duelist. Let's
Ah,
go.
okay, bro.
One Tap
Okay,
God
bro.
takes the step down for
Black
Ching to
Hawk
pick up that
Chamber.
Duelist, and Black
Black
Hawk
Hawk
on the
Chamber.
chamber. This is just Revenant saying, hey, we're going to fight, man. Let's go. Let's get it. And whoa, okay. Bleed have said, all right,
Crazy Guy
if you want to
Chamber.
fight, let's fight. Scary on the radar. No, I haven't seen a more fitting name for a more fitting agent. Aye. This is going to be a spicy matchup.
Wimp Astra? Yeah, we truly have gone past the barrier of sanity, haven't we, tonight? It's so fitting that tomorrow is the grand finals, and this feels like an entire build up party to what's going to be a best of five extravaganza tomorrow.
This is the bachelor
And with
party, man. It's truly going ham.
Well, it is the big day tomorrow for Bleed, but it is going to be a big result that they need to pull out of the bag. Because I'm pretty sure that off the bat of the previous result, Boom are going to be in chat and going to be happy about everything that's unfolding in front of their eyes. If they're able to find chinks in the armor on Pearl from the side of Bleed in a best of five, that essentially spells doom. Because again, you have the chance to ban one map each in a best of 5. And hey, with the weaknesses that we've seen on Breeze, with the kind of game that we're going to get to see on Bull, with the close nature of how Fracture unfolded between Bleed and Boom Esports, Boom couldn't have asked for a better gift, a better chance to get at it and to bag that 18 grand.
Exactly. I think Bleed especially. This is just crazy guy saying, "Man, I'm done. I don't want to necessarily be in that utility role, dying with a bow in my hand. Give me them fancy guns. I'm gonna take the fight right to them. Respect out the chamber, and I'm curious to see how that works out because seen it once before for Crazy Guy where it's something that only comes through in matches that we don't necessarily play for it all, but at the same time they want
Huh?
the win. So they put Crazy Guy in a position where he can truly frag out. But Darion and the Fade. Now that's one I'm curious to see, and that's one I want to see him really perform to his best of his abilities. But it's easier said than done. We'll have to see how
Nope.
he's able to make it work and how he's able to
One
make it
thing,
happen.
one thing that I'm pretty sure that
Collapsed.
you might not know, CA,
Yeah.
is the fact that back in Blackhawk's, youth, right, back in his CS:GO days, he used to be the primary opper for a couple of the rosters that he played under. So the fact
Ooh.
that now he's playing Chamber, the last time before, he goes back to the nerfed
One
piece
last
of
time.
Sentinel that he is, has a chance to make history for both himself and Revenant Esports. Bleed starting off on the attack, a swift take towards the B side now ensues. Revenant Esports slow to read it, but they are well aware, and utility being set up for Blackhawk's aggression from screens. He had the opportunity to pick them off, but they find the transition into its side, and Juicy able to punish one tap god who tried to help Blackhawk from the rotation. Oh my goodness, Blackhawk! He finds the double, the jumping peak from defender spawn, and they find a way to recoup here, Bleed Esports. The man advantage, and Josh S with utility lights them up, almost found the clutch. It's all on a whim now to find it. 1 versus 2.
1v2 here, and Wimp, he's only got 1 star, so he likes to use it as a fake smoke and trying to catch the player, and U-Haul's out, but scary, he'll just pop one in. And Bleed, despite the troubles that Josh S and Blackhawk were able to inflict, they'll pick up the round. Just a pistol, but I'll have to remind every single one watching how crucial the start is in this map, because just how great the momentum was, I think it can easily disappear if Bleed get to just plow their way in towards these first 5 to 6 rounds. If it's a close affair, then definitely the momentum would still be on the side of Revenant. But if Bleed start to get extremely quick and feisty in these rounds, then it becomes that much more difficult. Now, 5-man towards A, Josh S with his flash set up, but he's just gonna get runned and gone down.
Yeah, just Wing his way in towards this side. Bleed almost feels like no resistance there to meet them. You do have a Sheriff on Ching and Blackhawk on the Headhunter, so damage still a thing that's doable. Or the Bleed are making it less probable as the seconds pass. Decent nade from Ching. He's able to find one more kill. It would be nice to add to the tally and to deny Bleed decent bit of economy for this early segment of the first half. The more they keep things even, the more they can even things out later on.
Yeah. And look, the fact remains, Bleed right now head on to this bonus, looking to deny all that momentum, that form, that joy that Revenant had. But Revenant have proved again and again that they're not the team to easily let that happen. So they've got the buy now. Blackhawk will look to get a secure round here and build up to his op. I want to see it, especially now that you mentioned that he used to be an opper back in his days. I hope he's able to get that up online ASAP and make it work. But another crucial thing that we didn't get to necessarily talk about is that run it back. I'd like to see Joshua's actually playing actively for the Altobs. He tried to do that in the last round, yeah, with towards A main, and he got shut down. And that could be very useful against the comp that Bleed brought to the table, because double duelists, it's all about the aggression. So having the run it back really helps in that retake.
It's just 2 orbs away, like you mentioned, so maybe if Bleed give him the opening that he desires. Although
they're trying to take the CQC, which is smart because Bleed know that they have to play with the Spectres, right? Spectres, which they have 2 off and a Bulldog. So if they close the range and allow utility to do the heavy lifting, the weaponry won't really matter, especially in a game like Valorant.
Flank. The flank already
Big-
now
big
from
flank.
Ching and Blackhawk.
Are they
Like you
gonna
said,
read
they're
it?
in the shop. They're hunting for a pick and they found one. Ching is able to get one.
Picks
Gets
us out.
the satchel to bounce himself out, and just like that, Blackhawk now unnoticed. Indefender side spawn, but he speeds up. I think Darion hears him out, and the Brawler now having spotted him. Blackhawk in a bad position, but he still gets a 1-for-1 trade. Now it's all down to
More than
Scary
good.
in that forward angle, all the way towards connector. One tap God is marking him, but Scary can maneuver around the timings perfectly. He can make it work.
What's the call here? Bleed looked to hit Art, so it's the A side that they look to attempt. And little do they know, 3 players in close proximity to try and play off each other. As they try to walk in, there is the possibility for Blackhawk to, for Wimp in fact, to just dump them with utility. And they look to commit together. The call should be given on the timing. Juicy still finds the first. Josh Esto on the aggression with 1 tap. They do it in tandem and they do it brilliantly.
That's going to be the scar.
Teamwork, coordination, and utility used to deny Bleed any chance as Revenant retake control of the A site and look to retake control of the game. I love the aggression. This is exactly what they need to try and reverse condition Bleed into playing much more of a slow and static default.
Yeah, because slow and static, Revenant get to communicate and they get to take the fights on their own terms when they aggress and Bleed slow it down. So we've got buys, of course, on both the sides, but Darion on his stinger right now this round is just playing for the util to set up his duelist
Okay,
instead.
Blackhawk.
The
Really?
Haunt doesn't spot anyone out,
Unbelievable.
and Blackhawk able to make it count. He finds the 1, and with the rendezvous back, he's now got the backup in sight with Wim playing right there with him. And Bleed, man, they haven't got any ultimates to enter the side. They've only got the orbital strike if they can get it planted. With the 3-man stack towards the site is looking quite hard if Bleed try to force it down.
Yeah, and Blackhawk showing us exactly why Chamber got hit down to the ground with nerfs. Kind of aggression that Blackhawk is taking puts Bleed at an awkward position. They don't get information on the back of that. Oh,
Oh.
the Tracer Fire, so well read by Blackhawk. And hey, Bleed, they tried to make Revenant second guess themselves, but there's no pressure realistically put on this defense. They're just chilling towards the back side, letting the utility come in, letting the fights to take place as they transpire. And Bleed really haven't been able to layer their fights that
30
well
seconds
together,
left.
at least with utility or decent positioning.
They set up crazy guy to clear off Belong. Josh S, he spotted him out, and with the Prowler noise heard by 1-tap God, he's going to try to hold on to double doors for as long as he can. Bleed, they're separating themselves apart, trying to look for a play, but instead they just give isolated fights, and 1-tap God, he makes them pay. The spike now dropped, and Bleed, they have nowhere to go. They just have to play for the save. But in the middle of nowhere, it's easier said than done, because Darion is likely to get spotted out. Well, he'll hold on to his Vandal, but Revenant did pick up the round.
Here's the thing though, CA, with the kind of back and forth affair this early segment of the first half has been, Bleed already have crucial ultimates in the bag. They should have the Showstopper, they should have the Orbital Strike, they should have Scary on his Empress. If Bleed want to pull this one right back and deny Revenant any more momentum and ground, they can do this. But hey, Blackhawk, he has the 30 force as well, right? So Revenant, they slowly build an economy of themselves. And Blackhawk's aggression yet to be tamed. Oh my goodness Christ, this guy, he truly does have that bald buff.
Now look, Bleed here in a great position this round. They've got to run it back as well online with a forward position towards A long. So they have a lot of information. They know to expect the hit eventually towards B side, but they get separated, isolated. Darion, he shots not just one, but doubles it down. And suddenly Bleed, they've got an avenue
All
back.
the
They catch
rotations.
a fumbling 1-tap guard. The Nightfall to clear off the B site, and now they will be able to get the plant. With the Orbiter Strike as well as the Showstopper to play on the post plant, It's Bleed who've turned the tables and put themselves in a great position to close out this round.
They at least read into the fact that Revenant are trying to attempt more individual plays. So once they shut the first individual play down, it calls for rotation. And Bleed find themselves in perfect position, although they're running back. Joshua still having the utility to win this round out. And maybe to bait utility, like maybe the orbital strike or the showstopper. But he's relying on his chances to get the first strike, and I think he just spotted the barrel. No! Oh no! Darion! He's not able to cover his teammate! Luckily, doesn't allow Joshua to do more damage. If he found maybe the second, would have been a doable ask for Wimp. But hey, Wimp, he makes this more expensive for Bleed. So even though Bleed get the victory here, they don't run away with much in terms of economy. They still have ultimates though, which is going to be of the essence. Because now you're going to see Blackhawk go down the road of the Tode foes. You're going to see key rounds being played out by Revenant here.
Yeah. Really, again, with the way this map is being set up, it's the thinnest of margins that are making the difference. Like, and that push between Blackhawk and Ching, just for a second, they couldn't trade for each other. And in that second, Darion really makes it count. But if it had gone the other way, Revenant would have broken Bleed's economy, would have been putting Revenant in a position where they were in an amazing run of form. And instead, Bleed able to pick it out now.
There.
Smoke to make sure that Tour de Force doesn't catch them up. The Revenant have actually elected to play B site on retake, and I'm not so sure about this because they've got the running back, sure. But against the orbital strike, against the showstopper, that retake feels like a doom one. Thankfully, they're able to bait the showstopper out. As long as it doesn't get a value, they should be able to make it count. Plus Ching, he's just hoping. And his prayers will come true. The showstopper doesn't get hit on him, and they're just able to get the plant through. And look at this plant. The plant done for the late lurk. If they shut down the flank, that late lurk could come alive.
Oh, Josh S needs to find position though. The running back, he has just a few more seconds trying to make as much room, and he finds the frag. He finds the value. He knows position. Orbital strike, however, to confirm the frag.
Ooh.
Man advantage nullified, and it's Blackhawk on the Tour de Force. Something that I've been a personal fan of for many years. We need to see Revenant fan the flame. We need to see Blackhawk make his name. Sadly, he's well denied. Time of the essence. He does the damage, but he's not able to secure the round. And he knows that going down here will give him more money to work with. So Revenant, I'm pretty sure they should have a buy. They should be able to scrape together just a little. Although it's not looking all the clinical for Bleed. So make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, Revenant's still very much in this fight.
Oh, 100%. Bleed still though, they're able to scrape through that round. One tap got playing it really well on that flank, but Bleed ensuring they had the trade. And the orbital strike beautifully timed to ensure that Josh S had no chance. He went back to his body at the end of the running back just to feel hell rain down on him, and the fire and the might of that orbital strike for Bleed. We've seen this before. Once something works, they're likely to rinse and repeat.
Oh,
Black
not
Hawk
like this.
out as the Oppo down, and for Revenant, it's suddenly falling apart because their eco not so great. They needed this round, but Bleed instead, they push into side. And Crazy Guy just 1 point away from the Tour de Force, which he's sure to make count. One tap got as well caught out, and Bleed now in a great position in the post.
Yeah, it felt like nobody from the side of Revenant were even close to being in a position to fight back.
One enemy remaining.
Same could be said to Josh S. Man got shot in the back of his head. And Ching, considering that he did let go of the paint shells, his position given away. So Bleed, they have the opportunity here at Hunt. But hey, Bleed, the last few rounds haven't been all that clean from their end as well, right? They don't have an economy to speak of. It's only JH and Darion who have 2,700 credits. So the rest still as broke as college students, if you may. Just save up. Can't afford to let go of the little they have. Talking about little, that's what Revenant have gained in this first half. They were relying on that operator in the round prior on the hands of Blackhawk to try and propel them to a little bit of momentum. But that's something that they failed to gain, and they lost the economy gain as well. So unless they win a very unlikely thrifty here, it should be Bleed finding a little bit of comfort in what's been an uncomfortable best of 3 without a doubt.
Oh, 100%. And also finding comfort in the fact that they're able to deny Revenant that joy, that momentum that we saw in the first map. But make no mistake, guys, Revenant, they pulled it back from 9-3 in the second map. They might just do it here from 5-2. Once again, for Bleed, they're mocking the aggression, they expect it, and they spam one tap god out. They're able to back right up, and having taken pretty much no damage, I was gonna say little to no damage, but no, they take 0 damage. They're just able to wait out aggression once again, waiting for Blackhawk to peak. Maybe itchy. Doesn't seem like a Blackhawk playing the patience game.
Yeah, ever since Bleed have stopped taking that aggressive map control right off the bat, Blackhawk has not been able to find that aggressive stance that he also desires. At least the kind of aggression that's paved Revenant and the road to success in Pearl. Satchel back, Ching. Does not want to risk it. Blackhawk still wants to go for the biscuit, and he almost gets crumpled. Luckily, he has Ching in close proximity, and if Ching gets one frag, he has a showstopper, so the possibility of a hold still very realistic. Bleed still need to show respect. Kalia perfectly timed. Ching not able to find life to get the showstopper up and online. Josh still finds himself in good position.
Oh, that's one peak, but he's not able to get the weapon. Trying to set up the flash as well as the hot hand, so he's able to recover something back. But Scary, he shuts him down, and Darion knows exactly where that last man is standing. Won't be standing for long for Scary and Darion. They go for the peak. And while Wimp finds one, the instant trade-off as Bleed make it 6-2 with a significant lead.
Here's the thing, see, there was one Vandal that they saved from the round prior, and they saved it for one reason, right? They stand a chance of doing more damage on a round like this. Well, objective achieved, man. Mission accomplished.
About there.
Blackhawk back on the rifle, man. So, yeah, it's gonna be dead even yet again. But I hope that Blackhawk can come alive now.
Look at this. Blackhawk dodging out the Prowler, dodging out the Boom Bopper. He doesn't take that shot. Plays the safe game, and I must say, these are the small margins he's got to actually try to push. It's what Joshua would have done, but Joshua is trying to make the flank happen instead. Yes, shut down by Scary. Ching with the trade, a crucial one is one tap god gets an advantage. And Revenant, they're pulling it back, but this is all a fake.
They don't clear Crazy Guy.
To pull all of the presents. While
The Prowler didn't clear him. Oh no. He has timing. He has an opportunity. And he has the kill. Instantly traded out though. It almost felt like a horror game.
Revenant a little confused now, G. Because they've taken out Crazy Guy. A 1-for-1 trade definitely worthwhile in that position because they get to maintain man advantage, but they've lost a lot of the map. And look at the pings. They're expecting a art to A split, and they're absolutely right about it. Bleed, they bait out the trap to make sure that they're waiting towards B and then head towards A. But Wimp,
30 seconds
he's got the utility to try and hold down the side. Actually, no, scratch that. No stars available for him. So Wimp just playing for time instead, hoping that his team can come through in the backup. He's not
frag.
Catches Juicy out. Brilliant tracking, and just like that, a 1v1 in this site for JH to keep themselves alive. Gets the kill, will get the spike, and got the Molotov to make it happen, but the showstopper as well as the nade. JH gets blown apart. Ching, he'll find the round.
A very crucial round. As now Bleed, yet again, faced with a fork in the road. It's not a simplistic journey they're on. Been a lot of twists, turns, curveballs. Heck, you can even call Breeze a landslide of expectations in that sense. You have to endure quite a bit here. Bleed. You get to face the Wrath of the Storm. Although Blackhawk faces the Wrath of the Prowler. Utility perfectly put in place, and Crazy Guy looking for more. A little too casual perhaps. At least they managed to keep the numbers somewhat even. But with one tap God's commitment in absolute, this round seems to be sealed in it as well. It seemed to be a blood bath favoring Bleed.
Sweet dreams.
Ooh. And Darion, it's been a question of whether he'll be able to perform on that fate, and he certainly delivered, showing off his flexibility to a large extent, something that is going to be crucial heading into 2023 with the diverse meta that we're going to witness. But hey, don't count Revenant out. I think they're very much in the game, especially in a map like this. They're able to set up. But I think Bleed, they're starting to pick up the pace. They're settling into a lot more of the comfort that we saw from them in the first map. So I think for Bleed, it's all about getting their way towards the 9-3, winning every single round. And they've got the ultimates to make it happen. The Orbiter Strike online. Juicy just 1 point away from his showstopper. He's got that one in the back for Revenant. They're expecting this hit. A 3-stack right here on site, but Joshua is not able to get the flash peek through to make it happen. Slows them down though to a large extent and will be able to heal them back up. And now they've got the run it back to play retake, but it's on a broken buy. Do they even use it in this round?
I think they really need to, man. If there is an opening, if they find the first frag, then yes, you pounce on the opportunity. You let that opportunity present itself. One tap god as well has been taken down significantly. The showstopper, Juicy is able to find one tap god, but Josh S is the man that they need to worry about.
Ching, waiting with the pucky in new holes. He's gonna find one, but not able to double down for his troubles. This Bleed pick up the round.
Okay, for all those who are wondering, oh, is it gonna be a repeat of map 2? What's gonna happen to Bleed? Let me remind you folks that the comeback that Revenant Esports orchestrated was on the back of a defensive half. And a defensive half is where you can allow your individual brilliance to try and propel you to win rounds, not the attack. So if Revenant managed to do 2 comebacks in a row against a Bleed Esports who's been looking nothing but phenomenal in this Penta Pro Series, yeah, dude. That'll be an unbelievable result. Oh! Okay. You don't use the running back, however. That means it's even.
Out in the very first minutes of these rounds, when teams exchange some heavy blows, it is even in the map. Bleed, they're able to shut all the defenders down towards the B side, which means they get the area as an advantage. And now Darion with the plant will be able to get his Nightfall online, but Blackhawk has a crucial position. He's able to catch carry out. And now Darion got out awkward in his spot. He's trying to make a play, make something happen, but it's easier said than done. He has no prowlers. The Haunt 18 seconds away. No idea where Wimp is coming from.
Okay, quick break.
Valiant effort, but Blackhawk has been looking brilliant. Revenant Esports find themselves a 4th round. Not been a particularly great first half from Revenant, but they're certainly in a position where they have a little in the bag and they can work with this. You get a pistol victory, you come close to an equalizer. You get the buy round thereafter, you get the chance to then take the lead. Mathematically, they need 2 victories and safety in the rest of the rounds to follow suit to make their way back in this matchup, CA, which is, again, easier said than done, which means it's still doable on paper.
Yeah. Not an impossible ask. Certainly something that Revenant could pull off. But Revenant gotta play it smart. They need this pistol, they've gotta play it fast. And they're trying to do exactly that, rushing into this A side, but the Molotov burns them. It slows them down, and Revenant, they're made to pay. Josh, as though he's comfortable with fire, he's able to push in through and get one out, but Bleed, they hold on to sight for dear life, and it leaves Wimp, last man standing, to pull off a clutch, a miracle to save this round. Bleed, though, likely to just double pick him. No, never mind. Bleed respecting it, and they're gonna back off. Bleed in first map would have totally double picked him.
Alright. Now Scary goes in. Doesn't do a tick of damage. Went quick on the reload, Juicy. And not on the punish. Wait, what? Juicy? Why are you doing Scary like that, bro? Come on. Come on, he's not Ching. The wrong Rena, I guess.
Yeah.
Revenant need to force this, in my opinion, dude.
They didn't get the plant, though.
Oh, yeah, they didn't get the plant. My bad. We'll save.
Yeah, they can't really
digits,
force it.
essentially.
And Terrion's gone for the Vandal. One Prowler, one C is available as well. The Vandal now coming through for Terion, but it's the Shing leading the charge. Delivers himself to death as Scary minces them and pulls them apart. He's found the 2K, but he's hunting for more. He wants the opposition to devour, and he's found all of them till Josh is able to find a trade. Juicy though, immediately take him out, and there should be a weapon recovered and a crucial one. So, because look, crazy guy is saving up for that top. It's getting a little scary for Revenant. Can Blackhawk at least do some damage?
You are so
No, man.
Not really. Yeah, again, a round which I think Revenant can commit to and forget, because the more important one now follows suit, right? The buy round. Their only chance to recover on map 3 and pull off a chance at taking a dub in a best of 3 against Bleed.
It's all about teams positioning themselves to find a win in this series. Best of 3, 1-1, evenly tied.
C-Snade!
Bleed
C-Snade!
with a stomping map 1. But the C-Snade doesn't land. Instead, Josh is able to pull one back, but Bleed immediately with the double trade. It's the Revenant's own Nate trying to push them apart. Is Scary. He's able to find the trades, but it's an even setting as the Revenant, they're now going to try to push in strong. They've got to run it back to make it happen. But remember, this is Bleed's bonus round. And Scary, he's popped the Empress. But the Queen, she's made to sit right down. Grab a crumpet and a tea, says Josh, yes, as Wimp will find the last one. And just like that, Revenant, they pick up the buy round. It looked like it might all go wrong.
It looked darn scary, especially with Scary finding that double. The second one with that Spectre was absolutely berserk. Made that almost feel like a phantom for a second. But hey, Bleed Esports, they have themselves the operator on Crazy Guy. And Revenant, if there ever was a time to come alive and just take a freebie, if they win this round and if they're able to give that operator over to maybe a Ching, maybe a Blackhawk, it could change the course of this entire map, CA. And it's yet again that fast hit towards B. Sadly, there's not going to be a swift defense. It's only one man, and it's Darion. Everybody else trying to backstab a Wimp lies in wait.
Oh, and Scary finds a crucial one. He set his team up for a flank now. Revenant might find the plant for sure, but now they've got to contend themselves, not just with the side. They've got to explore more. Look for the aggression towards defender side spawn, maybe even be short, but with a triple man flank, Josh S, his responsibility now to hold it down, and he makes sure that Bleed finds
from
trouble
JH.
with that double. JH though with the trades now, putting Darion in a crucial position to close this round out, but one tap god, he's able to hold on till he gets burnt to a crisp. Like a piece of bacon. Bleed able to chomp him up as they pick up the 11-5 in this round. And I really don't think the scoreline tells the story that has truly happened, which is every single one of these rounds going down to the wire. It looks so damn close.
Very, very close, CA. More than what I guess we signed up for today. Revenant Esports, they're trying their very best. And again, even in the previous round, their players did step up to the play. It's just that, you know, having that third member on the backstab truly did change a whole lot. Revenant were looking comfortable in the hold all across the site, apart from their backlines. And yet another hit towards B.
Oh, and again, it's Darion and Juicy to lead the charge, but Revenant with a crucial comeback, they get the trades and they get the site. The Nightfall to clear it all up, but the Orbiter Strike denies the point, and Scary with that trade, able to hold on to the man advantage. Bleed hunting for match point this round, but Blackhawk and one tap god, they'll have a say. They want to bounce back, but with no utility available. Playing contact, they're trying to play it slow. Scary, not caught out by the seas, as Crazy Guy finds Blackhawk, and just like that, JH with the trade, Bleed, they pick up match and series point. The smiles are back online. Bleed a lot more comfortable in this winning position.
Hey, at least the smiles haven't stopped on Revenant, right?
Yeah, and it shouldn't, man. Like, irrespective of whether they win or lose, they won my heart at the very least.
And a lot of hearts from South Asia. VLT yesterday, they couldn't come close on Breeze, which is one of their best maps. And Revenant, despite them winning out Breeze, despite the scoreline being as it suggests at the moment, there have been nothing but a brilliant surprise for a Friday delight. And hey, this might be the last time that we get to witness them in the Penta Pro Series. But Revenant have without a doubt left a mark. Not only here, but also in South Asia. To be one of the only teams from our region to take down Bleed Esports in a map. Kudos, man.
Revenant right
Tip
now.
of the hat.
Yeah, exactly. Still not done and dusted, I think. See what they're able to pull off. But hey, I think one thing Bleed have certified is that irrespective of small chinks in their armor, weaknesses really, they're able to pull it back. I say still not done and dusted because Bleed have to contend with one more opponent to make this tournament truly done for. They've got to face Boom tomorrow in the grand finals to make it count. But Revenant, they won our hearts. Irrespective of the way they lost this map, Revenant, I think, have, even for Bleed, really established that they're a team that can pull some special things off. And going into 2023 with a lot more practice, I think this team is going to be one to look out for. For Bleed showing us exactly why they're one of the Ascension favorites. Not just favorites in their region, but favorites to win it all, to get a spot in that franchisee league. With a wayward composition, I don't even think this is what they're going to play if Pearl comes up tomorrow. They're able to find clinical victory.
That's going.
And hey, like let's say the rounds that went close to the wire, right? See, if we count those on the code of Revenant, right? This very well could have been something along the lines of a 13-10. Who knows? Maybe even something like 13-11.
One enemy remaining.
We didn't get to see much of the Black Hawk operator show, man. And something that I really wanted. Something that I've waited for oh so long.
One enemy remaining.
I guess save the best for later, eh?
Enemy remaining.
I feel like that's what they're doing with Paradox. So again, 23 is a season where Revenant look to be one of the top contenders from our region. And boy, do they have a fan in me now.
Revenant, I think they'll be happy with the way the Penta Pro Series went. I'm sure they'll hope that they could have made it to the grand finals, that they could have pulled off better performances against Velocity, particularly Boom as well. But one thing they will be happy about is learning that today, on a map that they've never played, on a map that they knew nothing about, they can still find the win as long as they play their game. And this is why my focus always on the identity that these teams are able to bring to the table, the identity that they're able to establish after months of practice and synergy. I think that's what Revenant really need to work towards, to set their own style in this game, and rather than follow and compromise, just force teams to adapt and change according to the way Revenant play.
Yeah, and like we said, right, Revenant, an organization that's looking to bridge and make that connect. It has all the right funding at all the right places. They have a brilliant coaching staff. They have, if I'm not wrong, staff to analyze as well. They have both Josh S and Ching joining Blackhawk, One Tap God, and Wimp down in Mumbai. So they live in the city of dreams, and boy, was it one of their dream matchups today in the Penta Pro Series. I'm pretty sure that they can have their head held up high with the kind of performance that they're closing this year out on. It just puts one question in our mind, right? What if
Yeah.
this map and matchup happened with Paradox present? Because we already saw, especially with Pearl, that Revenant looked to be ready at least to adapt. You know, we had Wimp on the Astra for a change. We had One Tap God on the Fade. We had Black Hawk on the Chamber. So They've shown us that they love to keep moving around their pieces, adapting, and not being read. And mind you, we're saying all this because we did see what a Revenant on Pearl uh, flawlessly looks like, and it is in the back of a very different composition: a Raze, a Killjoy, a Fade. If I'm not mistaken, they did not take the chamber, they went Phoenix on Josh S. So, with them able to vary out their composition and still be such a viable threat against the most favored team in the Penta Pro Series, yeah, again, imagine the storyline if Revenant were able to take such a similar fight against VLT and able to edge them out, maybe even 2-1. Boy, that would be a result.
Yeah, that would be an insane result for sure. But in the Penta Pro Series, ladies and gentlemen, Bleed, now with a 3-0 clean sweep across the round robin stage, they won every single set, not every single map. Revenant took one, but they are looking like the clear favorites heading into our grand finals tomorrow because they've beaten Boom before. Boom, on the other hand, I'm sure they have a lot of work to do today, having looked back at where Bleed might truly be weak, where Bleed might get caught out, and I'm sure it'll influence the veto tomorrow. But again, this is something I talked about when Bleed and Boom played the first map, where you knew Bleed was expecting that fracture to be targeted, that Boom would try to catch them out, and surely Bleed is now going to think, oh, Boom is going to try to target our Breeze. So Bleed likely to go back after this match, find out what went wrong, correct those small fundamental errors, and make sure that come tomorrow, if Boom pick out fracture or Breeze, they're going to get one heck of a surprise.
Exactly. And the fact that it's going to be a best of five means that you're truly going to be tested in terms of not only your strength as an individual, but your innate cohesion across the battlefields that Valorant encompasses. So, yeah, Boom Esports, they have one night to prepare for the best of five. You know what? We've seen both teams play. Sure, Bleed might have beat Boom 2-0 to begin the tournament with, but do you still favor Bleed walking into the finals? I think Boom stand a pretty good chance for tomorrow's matchup. I still sense that this could be something along the lines of a 3-1 or a 3-2 going towards Bleed. What do you think, CA?
I would be surprised if we didn't get all five maps, because I think the first map in the Bleed Boom matchup itself was very close and could have gone the entire series. And Boom learned a lot from that, from the fracture, from the icebox especially we saw implemented in the next day. And I think that's where I think Boom will be ready for tomorrow, and Bleed now have the onus to make sure they've got the pre-match preparation to do so. I think I do still
Yeah.
favor Bleed for the win overall, but and I just be very surprised if it's not a close one. I expect five maps, multiple overtimes. I think these teams are very, very close in terms of the overall talent.
I'm gonna play the advocate of Bleed here and just put this out in the wind. Having small slip ups like these in games that don't matter at least helps you prepare for the games that do. And the fact
Yeah.
that there's only one day that divides both of them at least gives chances for Bleed Esports to try and, fix the small holes within their hull. But hey, like you said, Bleed, they love reading into what teams think, right? They knew exactly what Boom was thinking when they got the invitation to this event, and hey, it played right into their hands. They were able to bag that 13-11, if I'm not mistaken, victory on Fracture. So heading into tomorrow, if they, somehow think that Breeze is going to be something that's going to be levied up against them, hey, we've already seen what the defensive half of Bleed is looking like. It looked scary, it looked intact, it looked neat. In my opinion, the one loose link, again, was A, Crazy Guy not given that support, and B, the individual plays from the side of uh, Revenant simply not being punished by Bleed, especially when you transition over to the defensive half. You never saw Ching leave his hand off W. Something that
Oh yeah,
you've got to
100%.
do for teams, at least down here in South Asia.
For sure, right. And look, the fact remains that I think what we can expect from both of these teams, Bleed and Boom, is a cracking matchup. So make sure you're there for that. But now it marks us towards the end of our round robin stage. Bleed and Boom have emerged as the top two teams and will move on towards the grand finals. To catch that grand finals, you'll catch us tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. IST on this very channel, and it's gonna be an insane affair because not just is it Bleed versus Boom, it's one of the last grand finals in 2022 Valorant off-season events. So make sure you're there. You want to make sure you end this year off with a bang. I'm sure Bleed and Boom will do exactly that. We'll see you tomorrow with me and OG signing off the desk.
Get down, cause I'm here to flow, 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 flow. Get down, cause I'm here to flow, 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 flow. Get down, cause I'm here to flow. Get down, cause I'm here to flow. cause I'm here to flow. Get down, cause I'm here to flow.